Tell me why my tombstone is blank. 'Cause I'm not the one who won't try. I'm not letting life pass me by. And tell me when the days are less gray. And tell me where is the road to less pain. How many days before I decay? It's getting so hard to get by. Where are all my trophies in life? And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life.
Set to sail to a place I can't say. Live a life worthy of chase. The time is today. New blood in my veins. I won't be the joker in life, playing the part I don't like. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. Yeah.
And he hated the way he was dying, but the moment he turned on the light, he became what he dreamt of at night when he was young and hungry for life. 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 Young and hungry for life.
You said forever with a crooked smile. Promises fading after a while. Every word like a loaded dice. Every truth came wrapped in lies. I kept believing what you sold. Turned my heart into your home. But every crack inside these walls shows the truth behind it all. I tried to fix what you denied, but truth can't live where secrets hide. I'm walking out your house of lies, brick by brick it falls tonight. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Your pretty words can pull me back. All your stories fade to black. Watch it crumble in my eyes. I'm done living in your house of lies. Every sorry sound is sweet, but the truth was underneath. Every time I looked your way, there was something you wouldn't say. eyes. Let it burn into the night. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Brick by brick it fades away. Nothing left for me to stay. Watch it crumble in my eyes. Goodbye to your house of lies. I'm walking out your house of lies. Let it burn into the night. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Brick by brick it fades away. Nothing left for me to stay. Watch it crumble in my eyes. Goodbye to your house of lies.
Oh my goodness! I don't know, man. Listen. When these guys get it right, they get it right. When these guys get it right, it's tough to argue that they're the best promotion in the United States. And when they come to New York City, most of the time, they deliver big. AEW Double or Nothing descends upon Queens, right in my backyard. I'm not in Queens. I mean, who the fuck lives in Queens, man? In my backyard. The energy was there. The crowd was hot. The pro wrestling was great. Darby Allin is no longer the AEW World Champion, thank Christ. It's back where it belongs. And AEW delivered the best pay-per-view of 2026, the best AEW pay-per-view of 2026, and might be top 3 AEW pay-per-views of all time. We're going to talk about it. I am heavily caffeinated, and we're going to talk about it. The venue's open after hours. And I got one question on this. Memorial Day Monday. What the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. isn't about errors. It also isn't about excuses. WWE has failed creatively. AEW has failed fundamentally. So why did Triple H lose the plot? Why did Tony Khan abandon everything that made AEW special? Because nobody is committed to the one thing that actually matters. Long-term booking. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining us right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Double or Nothing 2026 post show. I am your host, JD, from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining us on this Monday morning, Memorial Day 2026. It is your Monday, May 25th, 2026. Joined by the one and only, the man who's awake with me at this early hour, the only guy that is willing to stay up and cover this show with me. And we are very far and few between here in the community, man. You know who is top of the top and who's already in bed like a bunch of suckers. Not only is he the #1 reaction streamer tonight, he's my co-host on Wednesday night and tonight. Jesse, the Chi-Town Smart. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, bruh?
I don't know, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, man.
Yeah, and I know a lot of the people here in this chat was live with me tonight, and to them I say, gracias.
Ah, yes, hola. Yeah, yes. How you doing? Yeah, there you go, man. We don't need YouTube zinging us for weird and bizarre things. You know, it's like that ends in July, by the way. Then we could go back to normal. Hopefully.
There we go.
Yeah. How you feeling, man? It was quite the show tonight, huh?
It was. I'm exhausted, but this time in a good way. I'm a good kind of exhausted. I'm not exhausted from boredom. I'm not exhausted from just being drugged through the mud for 4 hours. This time I'm exhausted from the excitement that I've been feeling for the last 4 hours, bro.
Yeah. It's definitely a love-hate relationship with AEW. When they do things bad, I feel like we're definitely harder on them than most people are. But when they do good, I really want to give them their praise. And sometimes it doesn't come enough, and I wish it came more. Because and just like I said in the intro on my way here, bro, when they get things right, they are untouchable. They are fucking great.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And like I told you in the sound check before we went live, and I'm going to reiterate this to everybody tonight, and we say this all the time, Tony Khan does pay-per-view better than anybody in professional wrestling. I think that's been the standard since day one here. Yeah. He's gotten that right first and foremost. That's his bread and butter. He knows how to do it. He knows how to send people home happy. He knows how to book a big show, big matches, big moments. He just gets it. The thing is, when you watch a show like this and how great it was, and then you go to the weekly television show, and I said this to you, and I know you agree with me because we cover the show every Wednesday. Bro, it's like watching two different companies. It's like watching two different shows. I so wish that I could bottle this up and bottle this feeling up, take it to Wednesday and have it live through the 2 hours that will be Dynamite on Wednesday. I mean, it's unbelievable how they get these shows so perfectly right. And they're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they're easy, 8.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10 shows. And then we go to Wednesday and it's like, what the fuck? Is this the same promotion that I watched on the pay-per-view on Sunday night? I wish that they can carry that momentum over to Wednesday. I know it's been difficult for them. We're going to focus on tonight, but man, this was a fucking great show tonight. Probably the top 3 in AEW history with this show, and probably and I'm not even probably, this is the best pay-per-view of the entire year for pro wrestling.
Oh yeah, this is definitely #1. This is now the measuring stick for 2026.
Yeah,
for all pro wrestling shows. Was it as good as Double or Nothing 2026? It's It is up there. It is that good. But you know, the issues with AEW, it makes sense if you really think about it. It's par for the course. What are we always saying? We always saying that we want better story. I'm gonna stop saying more story because I think too many people misinterpret what we mean. So I'm gonna start saying exactly what we mean. We want better storytelling out of what we're getting from the company. And the thing is, the weekly shows are supposed to be about the storytelling. The pay-per-views are supposed to be about the wrestling. And that's why on the weekly shows, we're always craving something more. But come the pay-per-views, they deliver because they are a very wrestling heavy company. And the pay-per-views are supposed to be wrestling heavy. You don't necessarily go around telling stories in pay-per-views. You do that in the ring. And they know what they're doing in the ring. That's why they deliver on pay-per-views, but on weekly shows, they leave us asking questions and they leave us wanting answers because the storytelling needs to improve.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't know why they haven't really nailed that down. I would certainly like a little bit more story-driven narrative on Wednesdays. And what we got tonight would be perfect if we got what we needed to get out of Wednesdays. And I know there's a little mix up there, and they haven't done a very good job with weekly televisions at all because, like I said, it's too different. It feels like two different promotions. The biggest takeaway, I just want to mention this right out of the gate. And again, I spoke to Jesse about this in the sound check. You know, I have been very, very vocal about the length of these shows, and to me, they're still a little bit too long. You know, if they pushed it up to 7:00. Started the show at 7:00, we would have been on the air here at 11:30. And everybody would have been a little bit easier. It would have been easier for people to get home from Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens. He continues to start these shows at 8:00. They don't go off the air till 12:15 like they did tonight. Sometimes he's pushed it till 12:30. I know Monday is Memorial Day. Everyone's home for the holidays anyway and spending time with your friends and family. Nobody goes to work. So I understand that it's a little bit more easier on a weekend like this. I've been very vocal about that. I'm still hoping at some point in the near future, he does listen to the criticisms in that regard, whether it starts at 7 or 6, whatever the case may be. I hope that he listens. Even some of the matches on this show, I don't think needed to be on this show. For example, John Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly didn't need to be on this show. They could have saved that for Dynamite. The women's match, it felt, you know, obviously Tech is the women's world champion and she needs to defend that championship, but you should have given her a better story so the match actually belonged on the show. I just felt like it was ice cold coming in and ice cold coming out, so I didn't really find any interest in what Tekla was doing, and that's unfair. So those are the only two kind of negatives on the night. But as far as the show, Jesse, even though the show went till 12:15, I don't think any match on tonight's show overstayed its welcome. I don't think any match went too long, and we've seen Tony Khan, you know, set these shows up to a point where it's like 9 or 10 matches, and most of them go like 20, 25 minutes, especially some of the bigger ones going to the 30, 35-minute range. It's like, Jesus Christ, man, we don't need to go that far, that deep into a match to tell a story. You can get a lot out of a match if it goes 15, maybe 20 minutes. I felt a lot of the matches tonight were given just the perfect amount of time. Nothing overstayed its welcome, and everything kind of flowed one into the other. They had video packages playing, and they got you ready for what was coming next. Though brief, they gave you that little, okay, this is what's coming up next, this is what's going on next, and this is the match that's coming up, and then into the next one. I felt like with what they did, even though it was a long show, it didn't feel like a long show.
It literally did not. In my stream, I literally caught myself about 3.5 hours in, and I'm like, wow, we've been on for 3 hours. It does not feel like it.
Yeah.
The show has been flowing. I've been entertained. I've been enjoying myself. It did not feel like it was going on that long. You know, when you're bored and when you're exhausted and when you're just not interested, then it tends to drag. But that was not the case. I only had one match on this card that I would have completely lifted out, not replaced, and just crammed that time in to make the whole card shorter. For me, that was the Moxley O'Reilly match.
Yeah.
100% just lift it out and shorten the card by whatever the length of that match was, and it would have made the entire card feel even better. But outside of that, I enjoyed myself, man. If you can go back and you can look at my stream later on, and you can see the chat. We thoroughly enjoyed everything that was on tonight. It was a very, very entertaining show. So we come here and we criticize them, and we try to hold them honest, because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna call it as we see it. And I think it's only fair that we come over here and say that they put on an absolutely stellar show. If you have not seen it and you have the opportunity to go watch it, I suggest you go watch it, because it was a damn good pay-per-view.
Yeah, this was definitely one of AEW's best productions. A lot of what they did tonight just kind of hit a little bit differently. I obviously, I'm from New York, and the New York crowd was on fire all night. They didn't feel bored with anything, even getting into the MJF Darby Allin match, where sometimes you start to feel that drag. The crowd did not feel that drag, and they were energized all through that match up until MJF won. And then we'll talk about Kevin Knight and what he did at the end of the show, which took many people by surprise. Whether you like it or not, it's a completely different story, or care. That's a completely different story. Crowd was on point. They had near 15,000 as what they said live on air. I don't know if that's legit or factual, but they had a sold-out crowd regardless. They had it what looked like to me, Jesse. I don't know if you picked it up on your end. It looked like that they might have upped the camera production during some of the ring entrances. I don't know if it was like that gleaming 8K WWE fucking camera shot, but the camera work up the aisleway when people were making their entrances down the ramp, it looked a lot clearer and a lot crisper than it usually does. I don't know if they upped the production on the camera work or not, but that looked good. The stage setup was fucking great, and they really kind of paid homage to New York City with the scaffolding, because you see it fucking everywhere. You can't go in Manhattan anywhere without seeing scaffolding and construction work being done. They really nailed everything tonight as far as the presentation, some of the music that they used we'll get into, the crowd energy, the camera work. I mean, from a production standpoint, I thought they were on point as well. What'd you think of that?
It was solid. I love the entrance. I love the pacing. I love the energy of everybody that came out. Everybody came out with, it felt like everybody came out with the intent of outdoing the last match. And it didn't feel more obvious than the first two, because the first match went hard. And I was worried that they were going to have a hard time following up. And then we got Okada versus Takeshita. Jesus Christ, man. They went all out. The production was better. I'm going to be giving them their flowers on this one, because I think everybody made it an absolute effort to step up their game and improve on the pay-per-view experience for wrestling fans in 2026. No commercial breaks in our pay-per-view.
Man, I was waiting for the 8-minute ad breaks in between, man. Where were they?
Man.
You can't have a true wrestling experience with 8-minute ad breaks, bro.
No commercial breaks. It's an amazing thought, man. Who knew? Who knew, man?
Nobody wants to watch pay-per-view with fucking 8-minute ad breaks, man. Give me a fucking break. Ridiculous.
No.
You talk about stepping up their game, man. AEW definitely stepped up their game tonight. Hopefully they can continue that going into Wednesday. My question to you here is, obviously we want all pro wrestling to be great. I feel still in 2026, pro wrestling is definitely on a downswing. Nothing feels big. Nothing feels important. You get a show like this, and it's easy to feel excited about it because you know what the shows can be. You know what the product can be when you see a show like this. Do you think, with what Tony Khan and AEW did here tonight, that it actually sends a message to WWE to step up their fucking game, man? Because you got a show like this that really just encapsulates the heart of what pro wrestling fans want. It shows you how great pro wrestling can be with an energetic crowd. Do you think that Triple H takes a look at this and kind of instills that in his show, or are we just going to get more of the same over there?
I mean, we don't have to think. I mean, we know that WWE watches everything that AEW does. That's why they're all on top of their talent, their free agency. That's how they're all on top of what they're doing. They gotta say so, and what they think is gonna happen with the TV deal. They are infatuated with what they do, like an ex-girlfriend. I mean, so of course they're watching. Can they change anything about it? I think Triple H would love to change some things about it. I don't think he has the power to. I think he has to have 400,000 ads all over the ring and turnbuckles and floors and mats and everything else. I think he has to have ad breaks in the pay-per-view. I think these are not things that he wants, but he's not running the show. He's literally TKO's puppet. He has to do what he's told in that regard. He doesn't have the ability to stop the things that fans are complaining about. It's just not within his power anymore.
Yeah, but he has the power. He has the power of the pen to write the storylines and put on pay-per-view matches that are similar to what we got tonight. Yet we haven't gotten that. Now we're going into a Clash in Italy show where honestly the card's looking fucking great. Do we get that sense coming out of him that he's going to kind of answer back? That's what I think people are hoping for, because you see a show like this and you just want this all over the place. And I just feel like when one company's doing great, the other should really follow suit, because I think competition breeds greatness. And sometimes it doesn't work out that way. I know if I'm Triple H and I'm watching a show like this, I'm coming out on Monday night and I'm fucking firing all my cannons, you know?
In a perfect world, great.
Yeah.
Hey, one up them.
Yeah.
Do it better. We win in that scenario, you know? I'm just worried that Triple H doesn't have any fucking power anymore, bro. He has nothing. I mean, it's gotten to the point TKO is also trying to dip their hand in creative. I mean, he can't do shit anymore without getting that tap on the shoulder from good old TKO up top. You know, we got to change this. We got to push this guy. We got to move this merch. So you got to push this guy. Everything is money driven. He doesn't have, I'll wholeheartedly believe if you ask Paul Levesque about if he's happy about the amount of control he has as COO in the company, he would sit there and say no. He has to make things right on this end with the fans and then make things right on this end with TKO. And there is no happy median. And the one that's going to win that fight is TKO.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see. We want everything to be great. Sometimes it hasn't worked out that way. Most of the time it hasn't worked out that way. But tonight we're going to celebrate what Jesse thought was a great show. Double or Nothing really delivered big time tonight. Before we get into the actual review here, Jesse, and the meat and potatoes of this review, what was your biggest takeaway tonight? I know there was a lot to digest and a lot to be excited about. What was the biggest takeaway for you watching the 4 hours of this show?
So there's storyline wise, I think we finally got the answer that I was wondering in regards to the title run of Darby Allin. What was Darby Allin going to start doing once he dropped the title back to MJF? Well, now we know that they are ready to advance the next level of this Kevin Knight situation that they keep telling us that he's the future. He's the future. Okay, well, prove it. Do something. Stop just telling me he's the future. What are you doing about it? So Kevin Knight came out, turned heel on Darby Allin. Clearly, that's our next feud. So Darby Allin is going to take the rub that he has just gotten over the last month or so and use that to help move Kevin Knight up the ladder as he just turned heel. So not the worst decision ever. You know, I mean, we don't want to see Darby and MJF again, so he needs to move on. We'll move on to what? We'll move on to a heel turning Kevin Knight. All right, let's see what direction they go. Does he join a faction? Does he just solo? Does Speedball come with him? We'll find all that stuff out later on. But if we're going to talk about wrestling, I think we have a big discussion about Okada and Takeshita and what they did on this evening on this card tonight. Let's go ahead and go with Takeshita and Okada, man. I think they tore the house down. I think Meltzer's got a lot of work in front of him for that star rating scale, man.
Yeah, that was my favorite match of the entire night, simply because AEW started the show off with two really, really good fucking matches. We had the tag team title match with Cope and Christian against FTR. That was the I Quit match there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But then they kind of went right into Okada and Takeshita, and they started this pay-per-view off with maybe the best 1-2 punch that they've ever done as far as pay-per-views. I'm watching that Takeshita Okada match, Jesse, and the energy in New York City. And I know when we sat down to cover the first ever Grand Slam, it was Kenny Omega and Bryan Danielson. They had 21,000 people at Arthur Ashe Stadium. That was just fucking unbelievable for their first time in New York City. Before anybody did anything, the crowd was chanting 21,000 deep. Holy shit. Kenny Omega tried his damnedest to hold back a fucking smile because he was the heel to Bryan's babyface. And I got that same feeling tonight with Okada and Takeshita because New York City did the same thing for Takeshita and Okada. They gave them chance of holy shit before they even threw a headlock or a punch or anything in the match. So when you get into that type of environment and you have New York City backing you like that, and the energy and the environment is all clicking, there is no better place for pro wrestling than New York City. And they gave you a match that was excellent. It didn't start off with fucking big move after big move after big move. It actually leveled up slowly but surely, and then they got into all the big spots towards the end, and then we got the big storyline aspect of it after the match was over because Kyle Fletcher came back, and I don't think anybody was expecting Kyle Fletcher to come back. We were talking about a devastating ankle injury that might have taken 4 or 5 months away from his career. So he's back. He looks great. And they really fucking sold me on the fact that Fletcher might be backing Takeshita because Takeshita won the championship and everybody was upset that he went a little bit too physical on Okada. So Fletcher gets in there and he hugs Takeshita and they got me. I'm like, all right, this is a great moment. And we're going to see a little bit of a split in the Don Callis family, and then he clotheslines Takeshita and he joins, or he rejoins, I guess, in that moment. He played everybody for a fool. Joins the Don Callis family again, and I guess puts a stamp even more so on his heel run. And I thought that was great. All in all, I think they made the right creative move. The match was fucking incredible. The energy was great. The setting was great. The spot with Fletcher at the end was great. I mean, it might have been one of the best things that AEW, if not the best thing AEW's done all year as far as the storyline aspect. They gave you everything that just clicked.
Yeah, they did. There was absolutely nothing wrong with this match at all. It was fantastic. As a matter of fact, the fact that it followed the tag match that we got for the tag team titles, it followed that and managed to outdo it was amazing because that tag match was amazing. So, those two went out there with the intention of tearing the house down, and they did just that. I said this before this match that I bet you Okada, for the first time in a long time, does not phone that shit in. I feel like Okada's going to show up to work tonight with his buddy Takeshita, and sure as shit, man, Okada earned every goddamn penny he's getting paid from Tony Khan tonight. He did not phone it in, man. He was on point.
Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that and what they did in that match. We're going to talk about the tag team title match between Cope, Christian, FTR. I thought that was excellent. And we got Will Ospreay, Samoa Joe. I thought that was great. Swerve and Bandito was fucking great. MJF won the World Championship back, and he maintains his head of hair. Now, what happens next? Supposedly, we're going into a summer where we have Forbidden Door, and then supposedly a new rumored AEW pay-per-view called Redemption. So we don't know what's going to happen. It's going to be a very interesting situation to see if MJF can carry that AEW World Championship into Wembley. But he is the three-time AEW World Heavyweight Champion, and we'll go over all of that. This is your Double or Nothing 2026 post show right here on Off the Script. But before we get into anything, I got to shout him out here. My guy Cam G comes in with a $100 super chat. Great pay-per-view. Everything flowed very well. Darby, MJF, Joe Ospreay were my personal favorites. Much love, JD, OTS for life. Another round of applause for Cam G. Love it. Thank you, brother. Thank you for being here. Thank you guys for being here on this Monday morning. This is your Double or Nothing post show right here on Off the Script. Follow us on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Follow Jesse at Chi-Town Smark. You guys can go follow Jesse on YouTube as well at Chi-Town Smark. He was live reacting and watching along with you guys tonight on YouTube to over 500 people. And I know he was above some of the actual reaction streamers tonight. So Jesse's making his name. He's making a footprint in the reaction realm over there, right?
Yes, you guys are showing up and showing out, man. Keep it coming. We I think we gained about 80, 85 followers tonight alone. It was fun times, man. Just reacting live with everybody. The chat, we are all engaged, man. It's fun times. If you are not subscribed, come on over, man. Fun times.
There you go. There you go. We'll be live again on Wednesday, so hopefully you guys can tune into what we do on Wednesday night. And Jesse's going to be live reacting to Dynamite like he does every single Wednesday. So make sure you guys go and do that. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes. That should be easy tonight. We already got 2,200 plus in here and growing. I know you guys, some of you guys are watching the scrum, the post-show scrum. Tony Khan usually holds a scrum with the fake media, so make sure you guys go check us out after that's over. And content. Plenty of content on the channel, man. We got some good stuff. We had a video on Enzo and Cass coming back. State of the emergency of the tag team division. So I talk about that. Ludwig Kaiser, El Grande Americano, arrested this week. Seemingly only made him more popular. So we talked about that. And his match with Gable next Saturday is going to be tremendous. And everything else. We were live on Monday. We were live on Tuesday. We were live on Wednesday. We did not cover Friday Night SmackDown because we did the House of Glory show. Me and the Silent Monster were live on commentary for House of Glory Waging War on Friday. Excellent show there. You guys are awesome. So thank you to everybody that showed up there and hung out with us. Excellent times. So please go and check all that stuff out. Hit that subscribe button down below, turn on the bell for notifications, and get those super chats in. Best way to support the streams and the channel and all the shows that we do is via the super chats, so get them on in. It is excellent. As we got another one coming in here, man, I got to shout him out again. Oh, my goodness. With a $100 super chat. Hello, JD and Jesse and everyone. Definitely happy MJF won, even though he does not want the Knicks to win. LOL. I think it's a foregone conclusion that the Knicks advance to the finals. Aren't they up 3-0?
Yes, they are. And by the way, I am actively avoiding tonight's Western Conference finals. I am not looking at the chat. I am not. How did
that work out for you on Wednesday, man? Did you
Perfect.
Okay.
I got off the stream and I went and watched the game, man. I kicked back, I had a drink, and I watched the game from the beginning all the way through. Then went to bed, man. Great.
There you go. Love it. All right, man. Let's get into this post show here. We are going to start off with we're just briefly going to go over the results for the buy-in because there was a big moment that happened on the buy-in that we will talk about. Jesse, did you watch the buy-in at all? Any buy-in?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I was out smoking a brisket with my neighbors.
All right. Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. They defended I guess this was an eliminator match. I don't know what's with these 5-minute eliminator matches that they're doing. Megan Bayne and Lena Cross defeated Zeta Steel and Viva Van from Ring of Honor in a 5-minute AEW Women's Tag Team Title Eliminator. Lena Cross actually wrestled on the House of Glory show. She is mighty impressive. I think her and Megan Bayne are a great tag team, but Lena actually wrestled Shotzi in a very good match on Friday's House of Glory show.
Ooh.
Yeah, she beat Shotzi.
There we go.
So
Shotzi's awesome, man.
Shotzi's great. So yeah, that happens. We had the Ops, Hook, Katsuyori Shibata, and Anthony Bowens against the Death Riders, Claudio Wheeler and Danny Garcia. So that's continuing what they got going on because Samoa Joe was upset that Will Ospreay chose the Death Riders to train with and not the Ops. So that's why that took place there. The Death Riders defeat the Ops with Claudio pinning Bowens. We had Big Boom AJ. Are they still doing this shit? Holy shit. Big Boom AJ. Boom and Doom, Jesse. QT Marshall and Big Boom AJ. She's out there, no, well, not she, but Big Boom AJ is out there with Harley Cameron, Big Justice, and the Rizzler, and the conglomeration, Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Mark Briscoe, against Shane Taylor Promotions. This is Shane Taylor, Lee Moriarty, Charlie Bravo, Sean Dean, and Anthony Ogogo. Any thoughts on this, Jesse? Big Boom AJ and the.
Oh no, my camera went out. Oh, no.
You're not a fan of the Rizzler, huh, bro?
Why are these guys on pre-show after pre-show? Are they just signed to the pre-show every damn?
I give this match a doom. That's what I give this match.
I don't know what that means. I don't know who these people are.
Bro, you realize that Harley Cameron was the first AEW Women's Tag Team Champion along with Willow Nightingale? And now she's doing this?
Now?
She's with the Rizzler and Big Justice. Who is this for, actually, is what I want to know. Can anybody answer that question? Does New York City enjoy this slop or what?
You tell me, bro. This is your people.
I'm gonna say doom. No, they don't. Give me a break.
So ridiculous, man.
Post-match, apparently, listen to this. Eddie Kingston, he sprints on out with Ortiz and Mance Warner from Ring of Honor as the Shane Taylor promotion fellows bail. Kingston got a big pop, and apparently Shane Taylor Promotions has been feuding with Eddie Kingston, Ortiz, and Mance Warner on Ring of Honor. You would know that if actually people watch the show, but I mean, nobody but Fightful and their 12 employees watches Ring of Honor. So that's what happened there. Poor Eddie Kingston, bro. Do you believe that Eddie Kingston's, one of the most over baby faces in the company, and they got him banished on Ring of Honor?
I believe it. I believe it. Why has nobody called the Department of Children and Family Services that this parent is going around feeding these kids chocolate chip cookies, and they look the way that they do?
Wait,
look at them.
You got to say it right, bro. You can't say chocolate chip cookies. It's double chocolate chunk cookies. Oh my God, man.
Nobody, they're just gonna sit there and let these kids just get all kinds of type 2, and nobody's gonna say anything, bro. Come on, man.
You mean you don't like the content where Big Justice is like, I'll eat my chicken bake?
Bro, I tuned in.
Oh my God.
I tuned in and I saw for a second, one of the kids on the outside. This dude is sitting there rubbing all 3 of his chins. He's just sitting there doing this. And
oh my God.
Why does he do this? What is
Bro, he does the thing, man. He's like, I don't know. He's like James Bond villain, man. I don't know.
Is he looking for one of those chocolate chip cookies in his chin? What is he looking for?
Possibly, man. That may be that's probably the best explanation as to why he does what he does.
Get these kids on a treadmill and away from Costco, man. Come on.
JD watches their TikToks. No, I don't watch their TikToks, man. I just see clips on Twitter, man. It's for some reason my YouTube algorithm gives me the fucking Costco guys. I don't know why.
I don't do TikTok, and I really don't do Twitter. So I only see these people on AEW pre-shows. That's it.
You know, bro, when I come to Chicago on June 18th for the House of Glory show, I'm delivering you a double chocolate chunk cookie.
Man, my God. I don't eat sweets like that.
Me neither. But I enjoy a good cannoli, though. You know, you got to go to Arthur Avenue to get a good cannoli.
Oh, my God. Bro, why don't you watch The Sopranos? You talk about cannoli. You don't watch The Sopranos.
I know. I speak Italian, bro. Did I ever tell you I speak Italian? Affogato and Luigi, pasta primavera, arancini, espresso. I speak Italian.
This dude, man.
Ravioli, cavatelli, rigatoni.
Get them
Prego.
in a gym.
Who?
Get them in a gym. Look at them.
Chicken parmigiana.
Man, fight childhood obesity.
Pasta Alfredo.
My God. That kid's going to need a lot of therapy when he gets older, man. He got to tell his therapist how his dad fed him chocolate chip
Scungili.
Or whatever the fuck it is, man.
Fangul. I speak Italian.
But you don't watch The Sopranos. My
Oh
God.
my God. It's me, Mario. Yeah, I speak Italian. MJF. He comes to the ring. Apparently, Foley is in AEW. He's now All Elite. Renee and Foley, they're in the ring. They put over Eddie Kingston talking about the main event for tonight's show. Foley predicts big things, but talks about MJF playing not to lose. Foley talks about all of his injuries and his hips that have metal plates in them. MJF has his hair from Turkey. Foley predicts Darby goes home with the world title. MJF storms to the ring. No music. Starts screaming, no, 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 no. Renee leaves, and we have MJF and Foley in the ring together. MJF runs down the crowd saying he'd care about the fans' opinion more if they weren't stupid enough to believe the Knicks are going to win a championship. I think Danhausen has already determined that the Knicks are going to win the championship. Maybe. See how real that curse is. Speaking of people who will let you down tonight, Darby Allin, who says is the same as Foley, underdogs, who when their backs are against the wall, they lose. Foley said for a moment, let him take this in. He never thought he'd have a feeling like this again in his life, so thanks MJF for giving that gift to him. Foley said yes, he's lost a lot of matches, mentioning The Rock, who got booed in New York. Good for him. And said none of those matches did those happen in 2 minutes or less. That's not a loss, it's a disgrace. Foley told MJF to put his big boy pants on if he wants to deal with Darby Allin. Foley was then content to steal the show. Allin was not. He's willing to retain the AEW title and take MJF's hair. Foley said MJF's got wavy hair, and tonight he'll wave it goodbye. So MJF kicked Foley below the belts, low blow. Darby Allin sprinted out, and MJF ran out of the ring. Foley screamed into the mic for MJF not to run away. He didn't know until a month ago that he inspired Darby Allin's career and brought up Allin facing John Moxley at Six Flags in New Jersey years ago, saying that this kid can do anything, and Foley stuck around and watched just that. Foley said, like himself, Allin was weird, and he never picked stardom. He showed you he can win one night for all the weird ones and show you that he can absolutely be a legend. If Foley can quote an old friend of his, bang, bang, Darby Allin, bang, bang. Did you see this segment of the buy-in or no?
I actually did. I actually did see that part.
What'd you think of this? Because I know there were rumors dating back a couple of years ago that Foley actually wanted a retirement match with MJF or something along those lines. They clearly wanted to work with each other, and it seemingly feels like they will be working with each other after this. I thought that this was actually a setup for what was to come in the main event. I didn't really think MJF was going to lose. I thought Mick Foley might get involved, but we didn't see him. But do you see Mick Foley getting involved in this third title run now for MJF? Maybe he's there and he's the reason why MJF loses the world title at some point in this next reign?
Look, they have a very interesting chemistry, does MJF and Mick Foley. After this segment, I was even more convinced. As a matter of fact, I had Darby as my pick to win tonight after this segment. It really felt like they were gearing up to have MJF lose, go bald. I figured that MJF would lose, go bald, and probably get the title back on Dynamite within the next couple of weeks somehow, something like that. But it is an interesting dynamic, and you can't deny that. I'm just still 100% convinced Mick Foley does not take an actual bump. So I'm not sure what they do unless like Mick becomes a confidant or a manager to whoever is going up against MJF. He gets a proxy to fight on his behalf, something like that. But I just don't see Mick Foley participating actively in an actual wrestling match. No,
I think he takes a bump. Yeah. I don't think he wrestles a full-fledged match. I don't think Tony Khan should be allowing things like that. I think we've seen our fair share of Foley matches. We don't need to do that. But I just want to say this because I've seen a lot of discourse online about Foley and how he had to join the minor leagues and all this other shit. Now, that is your opinion for sure. But the thing is, those people are fucking retarded, number one. Number two, Mick Foley joining AEW is not a problem, okay? Foley, and the way that I look at it is, a lot of people are going to zing Mick Foley for not wanting to work with WWE because the WWE is in bed with the Donald Trump administration in the White House. I don't give a fuck what Mick Foley's political affiliation is. Mick Foley gave us his fucking body for how long and did shit that he did not have to do for us. Shit that he was never told to do, and he did it on his own accord. He could have killed himself for us for all he gave a shit. So if Mick Foley wants to go from one place to another for reasons like that, it's none of your fucking business why Mick Foley wants to join AEW and leave WWE. I'm just going to set the record straight there. Him and MJF are going to have a great on-screen chemistry if they do end up working together. And Mick Foley's always been somebody that has a voice. He's got that voice. He's got that just underdog charisma. He's the originator of the underdog. He's the originator of nobody gave a fuck about him and nobody believed in him, and he made you believe in him. So he's going to do that with MJF and work with MJF, who's the best heel in the fucking business right now. Bro, you got a recipe for success. So I don't give a shit what you think of Mick Foley. Mick Foley belongs where he is right now in AEW.
Mick Foley has earned the respect of everybody who watches this sport. He has given us core memories. Everybody, every last single wrestling fan anywhere will always know about the huge bumps that Mick Foley took to sacrifice himself for our entertainment. They will never be forgotten. There is no such wrestling fan anywhere that has not seen and or heard of the bumps that Mick Foley has taken for this business and for wrestling fans. So whatever his reasons might be, he can do whatever the hell he wants to. He is wrestling royalty as far as I'm concerned. So let the man be.
And what do we say, Jesse? What have we really preached on top of everything about Tony Khan getting the pay-per-view model and doing it right and excelling at it? What does Tony Khan do with the legends when they come to AEW? How does he treat them?
He treats them extremely well. He books them well. They get to be showcased in the way that they would like to be showcased. They get to go out the way that they would like to go out. And he pays them very well. So I have no problems with it. And what is the damn difference in Mick Foley showing up here or anybody else, any of the other 500 wrestlers that showed up here from WWE? What about the AEW wrestlers that showed up in WWE? They need to get over this bullshit.
Yeah.
They are pro wrestlers who will work where pro wrestling promoters will pay them to work. I don't understand people like this. When you hire contractors, are you not going to hire this contractor because he did work at this other place and you don't like those people? These people are flipping idiots, man. They are absolute idiots. The guy is going over here to work and he deserves to go wherever the hell he wants to go and still get respect in this industry because he has earned it.
Foley's going to make better television. However minutes he's afforded television, he's going to make the show better television. That's all I will say. FTR. We start things off with FTR. They defend the tag team titles against Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. This is an I Quit match for the tag team titles. If Cope and Christian don't win, they no longer team together. Kudos to New York City, who sang Alter Bridge, Metalingus better than many cities that Adam Copeland's been in the last 12 months or so. You guys fucking killed it. And it's nice to see fans that actually know the fucking lyrics to the song and it doesn't die out halfway through. So they sung it with a lot of heart, is what I'll say. So good on you guys. So we get the bell ringing. About 8 minutes after the top of the hour, we get the bell ringing. Christian already wrapping barbed wire around the middle rope and then threw Dax into it and then stood on his back, pushing him against the wire. Dax didn't quit at that point. Way too early. Copeland then set up a table at ringside. He got knocked over the top rope by Dax. Copeland's pants split, so he's probably shopping exactly where Brock Lesnar's shopping, right in the crotch area. Cash threw Copeland into the ring post with a chair wrapped around his head and neck. Dax then brought in a toolbox. Shivani said there were a lot of scary things in it. Yes, Tony. Thank you. Thank you for warning us, the fans at home. Like we haven't seen scary shit on AEW television before. Christian used pliers on Dax's nose and then against Cash's crotch. Dax then bashed Christian's hand and Cash covered forearm with a chair. Cash bashed him across the back. Copeland's fighting back at ringside. FTR took over and put Christian's arm in a cinder block, and they start smashing his arm in the cinder block with a steel chair. So then they held up the microphone and told him to quit. Instead of quitting, Jesse, he yelled, "I banged your mother." That is indeed not quitting the I Quit match. I banged your mother, is what he said.
I am going to need Christian Cage on my TV anytime AEW is on TV. He is an absolute gem.
Over under on that being on a new t-shirt within the next 48 hours.
Oh my God.
I banged your mother with Christian Cage's logo at the bottom of the shirt.
Oh man, make it. I might think about getting one. Man,
I don't know, man. That may be a little weird wearing out in public, man. You know.
Yeah, I know. Love it.
So Copeland fought back at ringside. After that, a minute later, he said, "Go fuck yourself," when they held the mic up to him. So Christian Cage is a national treasure. So everyone's down in the ring and at ringside. Stokely, he starts to unwind the top rope. Dax charged at Christian with the turnbuckle aimed at him, but Christian speared him instead. Copeland choked Dax with the top rope. Cash then choked him with the barbed wire. FTR gave Christian their shatter machine. Cash held up flyers, flyers. Sorry, typo. Flyers, and proclaimed, and I quote, "This big pussy is going to quit." And then Copeland speared him after he said that. So Copeland bashed Dax across the back with a chair over and over again. Dax begged off Copeland, wound up the chair. Dax is pleading, "Please, please don't." Copeland showed some mercy here. He did not do it. Cash said, "Okay, I'll say it. Just stop." Stokely then snuck up from behind Copeland and hit him with the quote-unquote Rolex watch that he stole from Christian Cage. All of a sudden, Beth Copeland, or Beth Phoenix, comes on down the aisle, and I have to shout this out because Tony Khan and what we do here on Off the Script, JD from New York and Tony Khan have a huge discrepancy. I love Tony Khan when he does shit like this, and tonight I love Tony Khan. Bro, Beth came out to "This Is War" by Alter Bridge, and I'm like, this motherfucker, man. This guy purchased the license to "This Is War" by Alter Bridge, and tonight I love Tony Khan, man. That was fucking awesome. The only thing is, I wish, and chat, please tell me if I'm off base here, I wish Beth beat the shit out of everybody and they kept the song playing until at least the first chorus. Man, that would have been fucking great, man. They stopped the song, and I'm like, no, don't stop the song, man. The song is great and actually fits with what's going on here. I thought that was fucking great. So shout out to Tony Khan, man. That was a great purchase right there. Love it. So she comes on. What happened?
Me, the live reaction streamer, was very happy they stopped playing that copyrighted song.
Yes, man. It was just right. I think it was just about the 10-second mark, man. You might have got away with it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sitting there going through my edits right now, cutting some of this music out because he bought some other music too.
Yeah. And the other music he bought, man, forget about it, man. You play a second of it and you're fucking done.
Fucking Metallica, I heard. I'm like, no. So I didn't know. And then somebody in my chat says, "Jesse, that's Metallica." I'm like, oh shit. No. I didn't know.
But it goes to show you how buying some licensed music for something like this on a pro wrestling show fucking ups the quality of it and just makes it fucking great. You know?
Awesome,
and if Adam Copeland, listen, I don't know what Alter Bridge is doing, man. I know they're touring Europe, I think starting next week. They're just finishing up their U.S. leg of their tour for the new album. If Alter Bridge is going to have a day off or going to be in the vicinity come August, and Adam Copeland is going to perform for the first and only time at Wembley, bro, you get that fucking band and get them to play Adam Copeland to the ring live at All In. Can you imagine that?
That'd be crazy, man. That'd be bonkers.
Tony, do it. I don't know. Get this to Tony Khan. Tony, call their manager. Get Maz Kennedy on the phone. Bro, could you do it? Sure.
Bro, not only does he need to pay them to do it, he also probably got to pay for their travels. All those guys.
That's chump change, bro. He'll fly Mark Tremonti and Miles Kennedy first class, bro, all the way.
all the way to, oh my gosh.
So that was great. Beth comes on out to This Is War by Alter Bridge off the Pawns and Kings album. Excellent stuff there. So Stokely froze in place and did not hit Copeland with it. Stokely charged at her on the ramp, but she took it to him. Beat him up. Cash shoved her into the ringside steps. That looked a little brutal there. Yeah. Dax, then all of a sudden there's a table set up, and Dax squirted lighter fluid all over the table at ringside. Dax lit the table on fire, and then Cash, apparently, they were going to spear Beth through the fucking fire table. So Beth pulls Stokely in the line of sight. Cash spears Stokely through the fire table down below. And the fans are chanting, holy shit, holy shit. Clearly, this was a take on Lita setting the fucking table on fire during Edge and Mick Foley's WrestleMania Classic in Chicago over 10 years ago. So that was fucking unbelievable. What was that, WrestleMania 22? One of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time.
So, yeah.
Fucking awesome. So that was a take on that. That was great stuff. So Dax circled Copeland to set up the concerto. Dax told him if he wants to see his two daughters tomorrow, he'll say, I quit. Phoenix then came up from behind and gave Dax a low blow. Christian then kicked Dax in the crotch. Copeland gave him a pile driver. Christian then put Dax in a scorpion deathlock. Cope put Dax in a crossface at the same time. Beth Phoenix then tipped over the steps, and boom, there underneath the steps was Adam Copeland's spike, the board with the railroad spike sticking out of it. She gave it to Cope. And then he pressed the spikes into Dax's skull, and he yelled, I quit. So Cope and Christian are the new AEW Tag Team Champions. This was fucking great. Everything about this was great. The only downside is, Jesse, Cope and Christian, they took 9 months off. They didn't do anything to really forward the story in that absence. They just let it sit there until they got back. Nothing was made about Beth, who was pile-driven at all outs last year. Nothing was made about it until everybody got back to TV. And even when they got back to TV, it's something that we talked about on the weekly television reviews. They didn't do anything to really build intensity or build on top of what they went missing with. So it's like everything culminated here at the pay-per-view. And imagine how great this would have been, greater, I should say, it would have been if there was some actual fucking effort into the storyline coming into the match. But 4 great guys, 2 great teams, a great outcome, a great match. I guess they capped it off with a great night.
This is fantastic, man. I got this one as probably my second best match of the night.
Yeah.
I got this my second best, right behind Okada and Takeshita, man. This was great. This was so entertaining. Beth came out, did her thing. Stokely took that crazy bump. Christian Cage was hilarious. The guys worked it. I mean, FTR, Dax specifically, gets on our nerves, me and yours, but we'll never sit here and lie about what FTR brings to a tag team match, and they showed up and showed exactly what they do tonight. Christian and Edge, Cope. Legends. Tag team royalty. I mean, what else would they do here against FTR? They tore the house down to start the show and left an extremely high benchmark for the next match to follow.
Yeah, this was great stuff. I don't know what they do going into All In. Clearly, they will be the champions going to All In. I could see them versus the Young Bucks. I could see FTR getting added to that as well. It's going to be interesting because at that point, before we get to All In, we will have the Motor City Machine Guns and we will have the New Day in AEW. Will they factor into the tag team title scene? What's the tag team title picture going to look like going into All In? We could get Cope and Christian versus the Young Bucks. We could get FTR versus the New Day. We could get FTR versus the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, take your choice. It's going to be fucking great. When you want tag team wrestling, you know where to come. AEW is going to have the best tag team division on the fucking planet in just 2 or 3 months. So it's going to be very interesting to follow to see what they do.
Yeah.
Second match. We go right from that to Okada versus Takeshita for the AEW International Championship. This felt big. This was given the big stage. A lot of people were looking forward to this match for many months. A lot of people actually wanted this to take place at the Continental Classic final at World's End. We did not get that. So we wait till May. And I don't know what Okada and Takeshita are going to do themselves, respectively, going into All In. We could have an idea coming out of this match, but this was excellent. They went 18 minutes. And the crowd was into every fucking thing that they did. They were chanting holy shit before the bell rang. And this was definitely given the Brian Omega treatment from the first ever Arthur Ashe Grand Slam. That's the type of feeling I got watching this match. So, crowd, obviously, the obligatory fuck you Callis chant, or fuck Don Callis chant. So, Takeshita takes over after a little bit. Exploder suplexes. Okada lifted his knees on a big senton. Callis says that he wants both guys to get all this out of their system and for them to go back to being one big happy family. So Takeshita came right back after some Okada offense. He took control, landed a big running flip dive onto Okada at ringside. Okada took control in the ring. Takeshita came back, landed a big wheelbarrow suplex. Okada popped up, hit a Rainmaker. Both guys were down. Okada landed a Rainmaker on the ring apron, so that's 2 he's nailed already. And then set up a move near the announce desk. Callis gets up from commentary and stops what's going on and says that they should settle this in the ring and not risk serious injury. Takeshita gets in his face and starts pointing the finger at Don Callis, telling him to sit down. So Takeshita made a comeback at ringside. He got in Callis' face, and he lands a big brainbuster on the concrete right in front of Don Callis, and this does not sit well with Don Callis. So back in the ring, Takeshita landed a big running boot to the face of Okada. Takeshita then delivered a top rope superplex. Okada came back with a big Rainmaker. Takeshita blocked it, landed a German suplex for a near fall of his own. Takeshita charged at Okada. Okada blocked him and landed a tombstone pile driver. And we're nearing the end here. Both were down after the tombstone. They both get up. And just like they began the match, they end the match with exchanging of strikes. Takeshita landed a big blue thunder bomb. Okada came back with a big gut wrench power slam. Takeshita countered a Rainmaker into a near fall. Okada blocked a power driver knee, took over, landed a high drop kick. Takeshita came back with a Rainmaker to Okada. So Okada caught a charging Takeshita after that with a drop kick. Takeshita fired back with a big power driver knee a second time. Okada kicks out at a 1. Then they reset. Fans are chanting, holy shit. Takeshita quickly lands Raging Fire, and that was enough to beat Okada and win the AEW International Championship. 18 minutes. These guys could have won 30. I'm surprised they didn't go over 20, 25, 30 minutes. Takeshita wins in 18 minutes and wins the International Championship. You could not ask for a better match. Length, energy, environment, everything that you want out of a pro wrestling match, Jesse, you got out of this match tonight with these two guys.
Yeah, we've got like official Rainmaker vibes out of Okada tonight. Takeshita is always in rare form, man. The guy is just so good. And for me, I just didn't know which Okada we were gonna get. And my God, man, we got OG Okada who showed up and showed out. I mean, he wanted to make sure he went out of his way to put Takeshita over, and that's exactly what he did. The guy is so entertaining. For somebody who can really barely speak the language, he knows how to communicate with wrestling fans, especially in a ring, but also in a promo. The guy is just so good. He is a master of his craft, man. He really is what they call him, the John Cena of Japan. I mean, he's good. He's so good, man. He is so good. And it felt like he was just being underrated at times, and probably deservingly so. Because, like I said, I've been saying this for a while. He seemingly has been phoning it in for quite some time.
Yeah, you could see it on his body language too, the way that he wrestles. It just seems like he's uninterested in everything he does.
Absolutely. And I was hoping we would get him back to form, and sure enough, man, he showed up And this was an absolute banger, man. This was a 5-star match easily.
Yeah, this was definitely one of the best matches of the year so far, in my opinion, just because of everything that I just talked about, the pro wrestling, the environment, the energy, the crowd, the story, and this just being, Okada and who he is. And I fucking love Takeshita. You talk about modern day who the perfect pro wrestler is, and a lot of people reference Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre and guys like that, Roman Reigns. Man, Takeshita is fucking great. I love everything about him. He's absolutely the next coming of Okada. And honestly, if AEW is smart, they give him the ball, and he's the world champion in 2 or 3 years. He's the guy. So
yeah, man.
I think he's excellent. After the match is when things went down with the Don Callis family. Callis, Okada, Mark Davis, and Rocky Romero of the Don Callis family approached Takeshita, who was celebrating with the International Championship. Callis got in his face, and he had some words for him. And all of a sudden, we hear Kyle Fletcher's music hit, and he walks on out in a fancy pink suit. So Fletcher walked up to Okada and stared at him because they were all kind of encroaching on Takeshita, and it looked like it was a 4-on-1, 5-on-1 situation. So Excalibur said he may have already lost Takeshita, and he can't afford to lose Fletcher as well, meaning Don Callis. Fletcher then moves on in and hugs Takeshita and smiled. Everybody backs away. Takeshita hugged him right back. Fletcher handed Takeshita the International Championship. Okada gave way to Kyle Fletcher. And then they raise each other's arms, and they got me. I thought this was going to be it. I thought Fletcher was going to join Takeshita and leave the Callis family and join his boy. But no. Fletcher clotheslined Takeshita down, and the crowd rained boos on top of Kyle Fletcher. Callis smiled, returned to the ring as everybody's continuing to boo. Fletcher got in more shots. He was joined by the Don Callis family, and he delivered a brainbuster suplex to Takeshita. And the Don Callis family applauded Kyle Fletcher for doing the right thing, Jesse. He is now a heel once again after moments of babyface and hugging Takeshita. And it looks like he is already healed from his injury, which I thought was going to take months, but apparently he's back.
Good. They need him back, man. That guy's a future star. He has it. There's always a lot of talk about the X factor and things like that. And Kyle Fletcher, man, he's definitely a future star in this company. And I think Tony Khan sees that, and he's treating him as such. And he's actually bringing him along very nicely too.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are looking at this saying, well, maybe a Fletcher babyface turn was possibly the right move here, joining Takeshita. You got to think long-term, guys, because Okada, and Fletcher and Andrade and Takeshita, you got a lot of top-tier fucking world title caliber guys in the same fucking family. Fletcher himself, you look at him, he's the youngest out of everybody. And he's the guy that the company needs to start building around for the success of the future, long term. So if you're looking at Will Ospreay winning the World Championship at Wembley Stadium for All In, he's obviously going to need heels to work with. So you want to start building Fletcher up as a heel. So why didn't they turn him babyface? Because Ospreay is going to win the World Championship. Ospreay is going to need baby faces, or heels rather, to work against his babyface. So Fletcher fits into that role perfect. You guys got like Swerve Strickland on the men there as well. Well, you got who else? MJF, Samoa Joe, Andrade. You got some great fucking heels for Ospreay to work with, man. So Fletcher's going to slide right into that. Don't you think, Jesse?
No, 100%. 100%. It's actually like a little roadmap already like mapped out. So yeah, no, 100%. I can see Will Ospreay and Okada too. I mean, you definitely need heels for the work with, but Kyle Fletcher is gonna be a top heel in this company, man.
Kevin Knight too. They just turned him heel. We'll talk about that a little bit later. So yeah, you're setting up for the future. You're setting up for what's coming next, and that's Will Ospreay winning the World Championship. This was excellent. Can't speak any more highly of this. If you missed it, this is something you guys got to go out and take some time to watch for sure. Athena, she went one-on-one with Mina here. This was the first of the women's quarterfinal matches for the Owen Hart Memorial Cup. Athena wins here in 11 minutes. Athena is still my favorite to win the tournaments. I know some people are going with Persephone. We don't know if Persephone is going to be ready in time. I know there's another injury in the tournament, Hazuki. I don't know what her status is. And then obviously Willow. Seems like this women's fucking Owen is just cursed from the get-go before we even get started. Willow had to relinquish the TBS title and is going to be out for many, many, many months because of a shoulder injury. So we don't know who's going to fill in for her going up against Alex Windsor in the weeks to come. But I'm going with Athena, and Athena ends up getting the win here, Jesse, over Mina with the O-face for the win. Any thoughts on this match? I thought this was solid, but obviously used as a come-down from the first two matches to open this show.
Yeah, I had it as a come down, and I thought it would not be very good at all. I'm not gonna lie. At the end of it, this match was actually this match was way better than it had any business being. They I don't know if this the chemistry they have, I don't know, but they went out there with the intention of making sure they were not the come down match, and they acted like it because this match was really damn good, man. It really was. Turns out the next match was the fucking come down match.
Yeah, just a correction. Some of you guys in the chat are correct. It's not Hazuki that's injured. It's Suri who's injured. So she said that she will be taking some time away for neck issues, and Tony is hoping that they are ready to go by mid-June. I don't know how likely that is, but the Owen side of the tournament for the women is looking like it's cursed already. So Athena advances, and she is still my favorite to win and advance to the finals at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. This was for the AEW Continental Championship. This went without a time limit. They went 15 minutes for a time limit on Wednesday's Dynamite, which is the reason why we're here, and Kyle O'Reilly got a championship match at the pay-per-view. So they went another 19 minutes here tonight, Jesse, with Moxley getting the W and tapping O'Reilly out with the ankle lock, which has been something that Jon Moxley has not been able to overcome from Kyle O'Reilly. And I said this on Wednesday, and I'm going to reiterate this again. I don't know who asked for a second match. This is 5 times now, by my count, that they've wrestled. I don't know who asked for this all over again after Wednesday because they put everybody to sleep on Wednesday. I don't know who asked for this on Sunday night here at Double or Nothing. And quite honestly, I felt like this was just shoehorned into the show for Jon Moxley to get a match on the show. I don't know what the affection is or the affiliation is with or the lust of Kyle O'Reilly getting him on the card. You know, you said it, I've said it for months as well. Nobody wants to see a Kyle O'Reilly singles run. He's a tag team guy. Nobody finds any interest in him. He's a very technical professional wrestler, and sometimes that doesn't translate to what we want to see on the show, and it actually brings the show down. So this went 19 minutes. Did you have any thoughts on what we saw coming out of Wednesday, or were you just as bored as you were watching this on Wednesday Night Dynamite?
Look, the match was fine. It was probably less than fine to be. I mean, but look, I feel like it get caught up on a card where all of the matches were above average. This match was not above average. This was just there. I got a 2 out of 5. It didn't need to be here. The card was already long. The match didn't need to be here. Nobody really had any kind of interest in it. And it didn't deliver either. I mean, maybe it was meant to be the come down match. I don't know. I can't imagine they put Jon Moxley in a match intended to be a come down match. So I think it could have been lifted and just completely yeeted off the card. I didn't enjoy it. I'm being honest with you. I mean, I'm saying it was fine because it was not a terrible match. It was not terrible. All right. It was just, it didn't need to be here. And it was just mid at absolute best. It was mid, probably less than mid. It didn't need to be here.
Listen, you know, I don't want to compare the two companies, but I'm going to in this case. I know Jon Moxley's the ace of this fucking company. I know they rely on him for a lot of different things. He wears a lot of different hats, and he's got a lot of power, and I'm sure a lot of political pull backstage. This should have absolutely been saved for weekly television, okay? Kyle O'Reilly should not be on a major pay-per-view. I don't give a fuck how Tony Khan loves Kyle O'Reilly. and how everybody feels sorry for Kyle O'Reilly for being away. He's a tremendous comeback story. I'm not taking that away from him. But he's done nothing to really captivate the interest of the fucking audience to deserve a pay-per-view match in a meaningful way. That's number one. Number two, Jon Moxley does not need to be on every fucking pay-per-view that you do. You know, if WWE can book shows without Cody Rhodes, who's their biggest fucking babyface and their world champion, I think AEW can survive one fucking show without Jon Moxley. So I don't understand what the need is to get Jon Moxley on this show. If you book this show without this match, like we documented in the open of this show tonight, of this live stream tonight, this would have been an even better show instead of giving us something that honestly had nothing coming in and there's clearly nothing coming out. You take away this match, which went 19 minutes, then the ring entrances, which probably equals what, Jesse? 23, 24 minutes? Bro, you're looking at a minus 24 minutes off the pay-per-view, which would have made everything feel that much better.
Promo package. We look at a good solid 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Man. Yep.
That's the shit I'm talking about.
Man.
Save something for weekly television. You don't need to do everything on these shows, and Moxie doesn't need to be booked on every fucking pay-per-view you do. Yeah. This show would have been fucking... It was great to begin with. It would have been greater. And you're missing your top guy. He's not even the world champion.
No, this was my one and only complaint about this entire card, and that's the pure existence of this match on it. That's it.
Bro, I remember Kyle O'Reilly having a singles run on NXT, bro. I was bored with it then. How do you think I feel now? Are you kidding me?
It's not clicking, man.
No.
By himself, I don't want to see it. You put him with Roddy.
Yes.
Great. You get Adam Copeland there with them, even better. Even better. They're a great tag team, him and Roddy. They are. And look, man, O'Reilly can be funny. He can be funny in segments with Roddy and in the right situation. He can be funny. But just by himself, singles feud, singles run of it, it's not it. It's not his gym. No. It's not for him, man.
No, we got to do better in that aspect. But Moxley wins in 19 minutes. He retains the Continental Championship. After the match was over, Mox shook O'Reilly's hand. Jim Ross was on commentary. And again, that's another thing. I don't know why they continue to trot out Jim Ross on commentary. He kept calling Kyle O'Reilly that young boy or whatever it was, that young man. Like, bro, if you can't remember the guy's name, why are we trotting Jim Ross out on commentary? I don't understand.
I like JR. He did one match.
He did one match. That's fine. But I think we need to start lessening Jim Ross on the shows too. That's just me. It was a little uncomfortable to listen to.
I'm gonna embrace and give my Jim Ross his flowers while we still have him, because the man is struggling.
He is.
And I'm not gonna. I don't want to look. I'm not trying to say put him on every show, every card, every match. But if he shows up for a pay-per-view and does one goddamn match, and that's fine. Plus, we had Jim Ross and Mick Foley on the same card. You know, Jim Ross called the fucking call of the century when Mick Foley came off that damn cage, man. We got them on the same card together. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is. I wasn't even thinking about that, yeah.
Yeah, on the same card together. Yep.
It's one of the greatest calls of all time.
Of all time, man. I'm gonna enjoy my Jim Ross while I can, because I have a feeling I will miss him when he's no longer with us, man. He did
it is said he recently said, I think it was Conrad he was with, that someone had told him to go get checked out for Alzheimer's or dementia, like early stages of Alzheimer's. That's fucking terrible, man. Alzheimer's has ravaged my fucking family, you know?
Yeah. I didn't hear that. That's terrible, man.
Yeah.
That is fine. Getting Jim Ross on this card for one match is not going to ruin my experience for this paper at all.
He's the greatest of all time. Greatest of our generation, for sure.
Yeah, he's no longer at the top of his game. I'm aware of that, but it's fine, man. One match is cool.
We go from that to Will Ospreay and Samoa Joe. This was the first of two tonight for the men's Owen Hart Memorial Tournament opening round match, quarterfinals.
Yes.
This was excellent. I thought this was one of the top matches of the night. They went 14 minutes. This was as good as you needed it to be. It didn't overstay its welcome. It fit the mold of what a tournament match needs to be. And it was perfect in every sense of the word. Ospreay came out tonight first, and then Samoa Joe. Crowd was hot and heavy into both guys. I did notice, Jesse. Did you notice as well, or maybe your chat did when you were watching the show with everybody? Will Ospreay has lost a significant amount of weight, man. How do you think Will Ospreay looks going into Wembley?
I was about to cut you off, but I wanted you to finish your sentence before you got into the full match details. Will Ospreay looked fucking phenomenal tonight.
He's trimmed down a lot.
He looked crisp. He looked leaner. No kinesio tape on the neck. He had a spring in his step. His moves were crisp. Everything was on point. Will Ospreay looks like he's been training with somebody. Yeah. Man. He looks
he looks incredibly healthy.
Yes. Absolutely. The best he's looked in a long time. Yeah. He looked really good out there tonight.
Yeah. Joe comes on out. Everybody's obviously chanting for Joe. And we get this match. Ospreay, before the bell even rang, jump-started the match and attacked Joe before the bell rang. Announcers obviously saw this as Moxley's tutelage over Will Ospreay. Joe starts fighting back. Ospreay took over quickly, flung himself at Joe at ringside. He landed a 450 splash and then went for a submission hold, which he also has been telling everybody that Moxley has been teaching him as well. So Joe grabbed the bottom rope to force a break. Joe avoided another Ospreay flip dive over the top rope and applied a sleeper. Joe then rammed the back of Ospreay's neck into the ringside barricade. So Joe was in control. Ospreay draped his boot over the bottom rope for a rope break. Ospreay came back with a Styles Clash, and he muscled Joe up, who's not a small guy by any means, and got a Styles Clash on him. Crowd popped big. He got a 2 count out of it. He then landed a hidden blade. Joe caught Ospreay, who was charging in with a signature snap power slam, which looked fucking great. Both guys were down. Joe took over, applied a coquina clutch. Ospreay reached for the bottom rope. He forced the break on the coquina clutch. So Excalibur noted that Joe expended a lot of energy having that move applied. And then Taz was praising Ospreay for breaking the hold and lasting that long in it to grab the rope. So Joe then set up the muscle buster. Ospreay slipped free and then hit a hidden blade for a 1 count. Don't know why we're kicking out at a 1 this late in the match, but it is AEW after all. One of those things they need to really do away with, honestly. He fought because we saw that with Okada, and here they're doing it in this match, so it doesn't really have the same effect if you're doing it on multiple matches on the same night, especially an hour in between. He followed with a second hidden blade, and that was enough to get the win. So Joe at the end bowed in respect at ringside to Will Ospreay. Ospreay advances to the second round. He now meets the winner of Brody King and Claudio. Actually, no. It's who's on the left side? It's Mark Davis and Jack Perry. So that's who he will meet. Yes.
Okay.
So he will probably end up meeting Mark Davis, his former stablemate in Aussie Open. So 14 minutes, Jesse. I thought this was fucking great. This was one of the best matches of the night.
This was so good, man. One of the things I enjoyed about it was at the beginning, as soon as the match started, Ospreay hits him with the Os cutter, and the ref turns and starts the match right away, giving Ospreay the upper hand. Joe gets up and starts complaining to the ref like you would in any sports game. Like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, what? Yeah. This dude hits me before the bell starts. He hits me, and then you ring the bell and start that. You didn't stop to see if I was okay. Yeah. You was gonna let him get the advantage just like that. You know, so he's still beefing with the ref as he's still dealing with Ospreay. It just made it feel like a genuine sports moment. Like every athlete complains to the referee about shit like that, when clearly that's a rule break. You can't do that. But I wasn't even ready yet. What are you on his side? I figured they might try to use that as a nugget to try to get another match out of this. Like, hey, I think the ref gave you the advantage to fucking start the match. I want another goddamn match out of this.
Well, I like it because it just shows you, and it's storyline continuity, that Moxley is training Ospreay to be that killer. And that's not what the old Will Ospreay would have done, but that's what the new Will Ospreay is going to do. So I do like that aspect that they applied that to this. And on top of that, not only did this feel like I mentioned before, a quintessential tournament match, but you genuinely felt with the way that they wrestled, both together here, Ospreay and Joe, that there was a great sense of urgency, and you could physically feel the importance of what this match is going to result in. The winner goes to the next round of the Owen and gets one step closer to going to Wembley. The loser goes home. And they both wrestled like that. And the reason why it felt that way is because you felt that Ospreay, you see and hear, and through the storyline that we're getting, that Ospreay is trying to really be the best version of himself with the help of Jon Moxley. And Joe is upset that Ospreay chose Moxley instead of him. So they both wrestled like it. And there's a legitimacy behind Samoa Joe that just kind of offset everything that really made this match feel as big as it needed to. So, again, this was another one of them perfect matches. I mean, this was the perfect opening match for Will Ospreay, and honestly for Samoa Joe as well. And it really got the tournament started off in the right way.
It did. It did. It kicked the tournament off.
Yeah.
And it kept the pacing of this pay-per-view as well. I mean, everything flowed for the entirety of this. I love the intensity Joe brings to every match he's in, man. He had, there is just something about the aura of Joe that just gives his matches a big fight feel for some damn reason, bro. He is so intense. And like I said, Will Ospreay looked so good tonight when he came out. He looked lean, he looked cut, he looked fresh, spring in his step. He cleared them ropes. I mean, he looks like he's in the best shape he's been in a very long time.
Yeah, good for him. He looks healthy as ever. Went 14 minutes. It did not need to go any longer than that. This was the perfect time for this match. I know Tony's been addicted to doing some of these things for 20 plus minutes. You don't need a quarterfinal match to go fucking 20, 25 minutes. This was perfect and did everything you needed to do. If this went any longer, Jess, I feel like it would have actually started to make the match worse. They hit the right point with the perfect amount of time, and it was fucking great. So hopefully this is something that we continue moving forward. We don't need 20, 25 minutes every match. 10 to 15 minutes to tell the story. That's the sweet spot right there. Love it. Bandito. He goes one-on-one with Swerve Strickland. This was the other men's quarterfinal match of the Owen Hart Memorial Tournament. And this one did not have much of a story coming in as compared to Joe and Ospreay. Now, they started, Jesse, telling the story with Swerve wanting absolute power, and he just beat Brody King at Dynasty, and he now is targeting Bandito, who is Brody's boy. So they got that at least coming into this, but Swerve hasn't done much after beating Brody King. He's been off TV. They haven't told us about where Swerve is. They haven't done anything storyline-wise to tell us what Swerve is doing or where he is, why he's absent, why he's off TV. And all of a sudden, we see him in a Wild Wild West setting, and he's burning a wanted poster of Bandito, and all of a sudden, he's targeting the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito for whatever reason, and mentions power. Now, I don't know what Bandito has that is going to give Swerve power. Does he want the Ring of Honor World Championship? I don't know what he's going for here, but we haven't really gotten that far yet. But that was all done before we got the announcement that these two guys were going to be in the Owen together. So I guess they tried to make sense of it by putting them in the Owen together and kind of making it seem like Swerve was targeting Bandito because he was going to be the first opponent for him in the Owen. But like I mentioned, coming into this, they didn't have a lot of story. But I tell you what, man. I didn't tell you this via text or in the sound check. I was getting ready to tweet during the middle of this match. I'm like, man, Swerve is fucking great and Bandito is great, and this match is very good, but it just doesn't have a lot of heat as compared to the Ospreay and Joe match that had some semblance of a story with Ospreay, the Death Riders, and the Ops and Samoa Joe. And then all of a sudden, we see Swerve standing on Bandito's fucking shoulders, balancing like an acrobatic out there and delivering a Swerve or a house call kick. And then we see a couple other big spots later in the match with Bandito doing 221 plexes. I'm like, holy fucking shit, where did this come from? So it's like at the end, you know, I was like, all right, this is good, but not as good. But when the end bell rang, Jesse, and we got Swerve winning, I was like, man, these two fucking Owen men's matches were tremendous here. Holy shit.
They did. they managed to pick up their pace. The pacing was well, and towards the middle of it, yeah, they kind of had me hooked. Because like you said, Swerve has kind of been ice cold.
Ice cold.
I mean, they're not doing anything with him. They turned him heel and then just kind of forgot about him. I mean, he's not looking as lean as he once was, too. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Swerve, but they came out and did their damn thing, man. You can tell when second gear picked up in this match, and these guys, yeah. Well, I'm like you. When I saw Swerve standing on Bandito's shoulder, like, what the hell is going on? And what is this? And sure enough, man, they delivered. They absolutely delivered here, man. Loved it.
I will say this, and I will never get tired of saying it. I had some fucking idiot arguing with me that Dominic Mysterio is the best lucha in all of pro wrestling. I'm like, bro, you clearly have no fucking idea who Bandito is. Bandito is fucking incredible. Everything that the man does is fucking incredible.
Dominic Mysterio is not a lucha. What? See, well, I'm not having that.
Wait, Jesse, he wrestles in AAA, man. He's the AAA Mega Champion. Shut down, Smart.
I'm too much of a smart to have that discussion with that idiot. Dominic Mysterio is not a lucha.
I mean, he's not even the best lucha on his own fucking show, man. What is he talking about?
The best lucha in his family. I mean, no. And there's nothing wrong with Dominic. I'm not trying to sit here and slander Dominic Mysterio. I'm a big Dom fan. I think that he is coming along very well. I think WWE is moving him along well. He has definitely been elevated from when he started. He started off as a Nepo baby, but he is standing alone on his own. He is over. He can go. Nothing wrong with Dominic Mysterio. I'm not going to have this discussion about he being the greatest luchador. Get the fuck out. He's not a luchador, man.
Bro, the guy Dominic couldn't even lace Bandito's mask, bro. What are you talking about?
No, Dominic Mysterio is a future world champion in WWE. Absolutely. Right now, he's still Rey Mysterio's son. He has a lot of growing up to do, but he'll get there. He'll get there.
Who's better, bro? Dominic or Hologram?
Ooh. I will say Hologram is a luchador.
Hologram is a luchador, yes.
He's a better luchador than Dominic.
Yeah, yes. Bandito and Swerve, two great wrestlers. This was a great match. Not as good as the Ospreay and Joe match, in my opinion, but man, they certainly gave them a run for their money for sure. Bandito went right after Swerve. Bandito was in control at ringside, and then Bandito threw Swerve into the ringside barricade. We got some more stuff around ringside. They continue back and forth in the ring, including Bandito hitting a frog splash. He goes for a cover. He gets a 2 count. So the crowd, like I mentioned before, I was getting ready to tweet what I wanted to tweet. The crowd was pretty quiet up until about the midway point here. And then a few fans got into it. Swerve really woke up the crowd by the spot, like I mentioned. He was on Bandito's shoulders, standing on him, legitimately standing on Bandito's shoulders, and jumped off of Bandito's shoulders to deliver a house call kick. One of the best spots of the entire night. He then followed up with a quick Swerve stomp off the top rope, and he came very close to winning the match. Only a 2.5. Bandito comes back. He took Swerve off the ring apron to the floor where they reversed Hurricanrana, which was fucking holy shit. I mean, give me a break with that. Both were down. Swerve eventually countered a 21-plex and turned it into a vertebreaker, followed by a house call. Now, speaking of the 21-plex, Bandito got the 21-plex. I've never seen him do this before. The only time I've seen him do it personally, because I don't watch Ring of Honor, is when he wrestled Amazing Red and me and Salomons were on the call in Las Vegas. He did the opponent laying on the mat version of the 21-plex. Apparently, he's been doing this for a while. But he did it to Red, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is literally the first time I've seen it, so it was in its natural element with me calling it. I'm like, I never seen that before. It was tremendous there, and Red is the same size as Bandito. He doesn't have as much muscle as Bandito, but he's about the same height, same size. Swerve is a lot taller and a lot more lankier and heavier than both Red and Bandito fucking with ease did the ground version of the 21 plex on Swerve, Jesse. That was tremendous. So to see him hit that was fucking incredible. But he did get the vertebreaker, and the house called it Swerve, and that was it. 15 minutes. He advanced to the second round. He now meets the winner of Brody King and Claudio. Whenever that match takes place, that'll be the semifinal for the Swerve portion of the Owen.
Yeah, I honestly thought Bandito was going to pull this one off. Because, like I said, they're not doing anything with Swerve. And that was the only reason. They're not doing anything with Swerve right now. But I thought we might get Bandito versus Brody.
Yeah, it was always a possibility. You know, it was one of those things that Tony thought was probably a little bit on the unpredictable side because Swerve has been ice cold. Bandito's had a nice string of momentum. And Tony sometimes likes to pull out some of that unpredictability and say, you know what, I'm going to do Brody, King, and Bandito. And people would have been okay with that. But the thing is, Swerve is ice cold. He hasn't been on TV. And now I think with the win, Jesse, this basically sets up Swerve for the finals against Ospreay. I think now with Ospreay and Swerve winning their respective matches tonight, it basically solidifies them for the finals of Forbidden Door.
Should be good, man. I got to say, low key, creeping up on us without us really realizing it. This has probably been one of the better Owens of all time. This tournament.
Well, yeah, with these first two matches, yeah. I mean, we got Mark Davis and Jack Perry coming up, and then Brody versus Claudio. So if we're looking at the rest of the tournament, it'll be Ospreay, prediction-wise, Ospreay versus Davis. So two former United Empire members going at it. And then Swerve versus Brody, I'm assuming, is going to win, because why would you have Brody King lose to Claudio? I think they do a rematch there, which kind of sucks for Brody because he just lost to Swerve, and then you're going to have him lose again. Unless Tony wants to pull out a victory for Brody and we get Brody versus Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door.
It might, like I said, man, I don't expect much out of Swerve in this tournament because he was ice cold coming in.
Yeah.
So unless they plan on heating him up in the Owen. But again, this is another thing that is making this Owen so interesting. It's not as predictable. The matches so far have already been fantastic. And just looking at what's ahead of us, this is a pretty damn good looking tournament so far. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with Swerve going into All In. All I can say is he is one of their main event mainstays. You need to heat him up, man. He's way too good to be this cold.
Yes,
Seriously.
I agree.
Swerve is incredible. So I don't know what he's doing at All In, but hopefully it is something substantial. That's just all we ask.
He's a bit of an asshole in real life, but
well, I mean, he's got me and you blocked on social media, but I would not hesitate to tell him exactly what I just said to his face. So,
he's good. I don't know why he's this cold. I don't know why he's this cold right now.
Yeah.
They need to keep this guy active.
Yeah. So Swerve wins there, and we will hopefully see these next two matches for the Owen play out on Dynamite / Collision. Tekla, Jesse, Tekla.
Oh. Man,
did you see Tekla's ring attire tonight? Holy shit.
Oh, I saw it all, buddy.
Oh, my goodness.
I saw that. I saw my girl Stats, too.
Mm-hmm. Tekla, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, and Hikaru Shida. The unenthused tone of Hikaru Shida. AEW Women's title match here, Fatal 4-Way. This went 15 minutes, Jesse. I don't even think this needs to go 15 minutes, quite honestly. I mean, they didn't do anything on television to even warrant 15 minutes. I would have absolutely kept this off the show. Again, we didn't need this on the show. We don't need every world championship on the show defended. This could have been easily saved for Dynamite. Bro, there's nothing coming in, and the ladies have gotten the short end of the stick, man. There's just nothing to sink your teeth into, man. When we want story, we're barely getting it on the men's side. We're getting it here and there with Ospreay and Moxley and MJF and Darby, but the women have nothing going on for them, bro. So we got this match, and it just felt like, all right, you got 4 solid hands in there for the Women's Championship, but there's nothing to really give a shit about.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm keeping this on the card. We have to keep Tekla important. We have to keep her front and center. It could have used more of a build. Don't get me wrong. It definitely needed more of a build. But at the end of the day, they delivered on the match. And it's important that we keep Tekla fresh, especially since we know the looming return of a certain someone else to the women's division. We don't want her walking in and being like, see, it's ice cold until I got here. No, we got Tekla tearing shit up right now. And not to mention, it did advance the dynamic between Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida too.
Yeah.
Now, could it have been, shorter? No. To be honest with you, I think it was perfect at 15 minutes. You have 4 women in a 15-minute match. That's basically a little bit less than 5 minutes per to get some of their shit in the match. I think 15 minutes for a fatal 4-way is fair. It's fine. I didn't mind this. I gave this some 3 out of 5. I thought it was perfectly fine. It did need more story and more build, but once the bell rang, I think it delivered. I think they all came through just fine.
Yeah, I mean, the match was fine. Everybody's work was fine. I just couldn't bring myself to care about anything that they did here, honestly. Tekla's the right choice here. Tekla ended up retaining the championship in 15 minutes. There's absolutely no reason to take the belt off of her. She should absolutely carry that belt into All In and into Wembley Stadium. But again, we don't really know what's looming, and who may be coming back for that championship. Now, I know a lot of people were like, well, she's going to take Willow's spot in the tournament, and that's Mercedes Moné. Chat, if they wanted Mercedes Moné in the tournament, they would have kept that match, which was scheduled for this show, on the show, because you return Mercedes at the pay-per-view. They opted to not do that and gave the match tonight to Athena and Mina. So I don't think Mercedes is coming back and going to be placed in this tournament. I think it's going to be somebody that really nobody gives a shit about, and I think Alex Windsor is going to go on and advance to the to the semifinals. So if they wanted that to happen, they would have made it happen tonight. Now, can she come back and challenge Tekla at the pay-per-view or the next couple of pay-per-views and win the championship and be the one to take the belt into All In? Sure. I don't know what that's going to result in, but we will see in the next coming week, because I do think that Tony's going to be, his feet are going to be held to the fire. Where's Mercedes going into the biggest show of the year? People are going to start asking questions. So I think it's without saying that if she's healthy and ready to go, that she'll be at the pay-per-view in August. So we'll see what happens.
And about the Mercedes Moné absence, let me just say, I wish they would do this more with the top stars. They just keep running their top stars into the ground until they get hurt and they have to come off the road. When if you don't have anything solid for them, have them take a little hiatus. Heal. Rest those bones. Just spend some time with your family. And in the meantime, get something juicy for them and creative. And then you can bring them back at your leisure as opposed to waiting for someone to heal from an injury. And it gives you time to rotate your roster, try some different faces and views. I mean, Mercedes has been getting on everybody's nerves around here, but at the end of the day, I like how she just takes a hiatus without a major injury. Let's not wait until someone breaks their damn neck before they have to leave TV.
Yeah.
I wish they would do that more often.
So Tekla wins here. Obviously the right move. And I do think that Jamie Hayter and Alex Windsor are going to win the tag team titles, the women's tag team titles at Wembley against Megan Bayne and Lena Cross. So I think that's the direction. Who Tekla gets at Wembley. Again, does she even walk in as the women's champion? That would be shitty for her because she's great. She hasn't had really the most enthusiastic run, but again, Mercedes is due back soon.
Yeah.
We go from that to something that I wasn't really all that thrilled with it coming in, Jesse, but I was going to give it a chance because this is a staple of AEW. The Stadium Stampede. This is Team Jericho versus Team Ricochet. So we had Jericho, the Hurt Syndicate, and the Elite. That's Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, and Jack Perry against Ricochet, the Demand, Toa Leona, Bishop Khan, some of the Don Callis family, Mark Davis, Andrade, and then the Dogs, David Finlay and Clark Connors.
Yeah.
Now, what I love most about this match is the cinematic ways that both teams arrive to the arena. Now, Ricochet came in with his boys, and apparently they came in on a what type of vehicle they were driving. It was a big 4x4 truck, and it was on hydraulic lifts. And
those were the Dogs that came in.
Oh, they came in on that. Jericho and his team came in better, in my opinion. I'll get to that in a second. But The Demand were wearing baseball jerseys, so they were trying to hopefully instill some baseball enthusiasm because the Mets are fucking terrible in Queens. So they had a cinematic entrance, but then we had Team Jericho come in, all dressed up wearing suits, and they came out to Metallica's Devil's Dance off of their Reload album.
Yeah.
Now, this is a copyright waiting to happen. This is Metallica's wet dream here, trying to copyright content creators by using their theme song here on stream. I thought it was a great choice of song, number one. I thought it fit them very well. In fact, I thought we were going to get some music playing during the first 10 to 15 minutes of this match, but we didn't get that, and I was kind of disappointed. I'm like, man, if Tony spent money to buy the rights to this song to play it in the fucking first 10 minutes of this match, man, that would have been great. Fans were fucking singing along to this shit. I'm like, all right, there you go. But no, they didn't. And then the music stopped. And then we got Judas, and that's exactly what happened. What'd you think of this, man? I felt like out of all the matches that really went the right time, I felt like this kind of overstayed its welcome. What do you think?
I was just getting ready to say. I said the only complaint I had was the inclusion of Moxley and O'Reilly. But one more small little caveat. This match did run a tad bit too long.
Yeah,
a tad bit too. They could have shortened it up a little bit, but that's it. That's all I'm gonna say on the bad side about this match, because it was. I thought it was gonna be a pre-recorded match, at the opening, by the entrances. When I saw it was going to be live, like, oh man, they should have left this pre-recorded. It would have been better, like a Lucha Underground type feel or whatever. But no. It was still fun. They had the camera work spread out very well. The referees were all over the place. It's organized chaos, as expected. But it was fun. It just ran a little bit too long. That was it. I mean, outside of that, nice spots here and there, nothing crazy. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun, and it was a nice little setup for the main event too. Get some, fun spots out of the way here and there. Then we get down to the seriousness of the world title afterward. I enjoyed the placement of it as well. I thought it was a very good match.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was feeling too. I thought the placement of this match was really good right before the MJF Darby Allin main event for the World Championship, because at this point in the show, typically with these AEW shows, you start to get tired and the fans start to get tired. But man, all the chaos kind of really kept everybody awake. So that was a good placement here for sure. I definitely agree. Jericho's team ended up winning here. This was wild and all over the place. I'm not going to go over fucking spot for spot, move for move, but I do have a list, according to Brian Alvarez. Shout out to Brian Alvarez, the only listenable aspect of Wrestling Observer. He wrote down all the big notable spots. So we're going to read off what he wrote here in just a little bit. But this was in the co-main event spot. Team Ricochet's Bishop Khan, the Demand's Bishop Khan, shoved Ricochet out of the way before Jericho could finish him off. To end a sequence of Team Jericho finishers, there was a 7-way super kick and a lion salt that ended the match. So he took the pinfall, which was the right move. Ricochet getting buried like that is not what he needs. The rest of Team Ricochet were taken out prior to that. Bobby Lashley took everybody out, including Mark Davis, put him through a table with a spear. Back suplex to Leona through a table. The Dogs were taken out by the Young Bucks with stereo top rope elbow drops through tables. Kenny Omega hit a one-winged angel with Andrade going through a table. So, it was crazy. But Team Jericho ended up winning. And some of the notable spots in this match include, now get ready, chat, this was a wild one. We had a 7-man linked abdominal stretch from Toa Leona on Omega until MVP broke it up by bashing his cane onto the arm of Ricochet, and then everybody went tumbling backwards because of the momentum of the 7-man abdominal stretch. What'd you think of that one, Jesse?
Now, here's what I get from that spot. That's a spot that only old school wrestling fans will appreciate.
I love that shit.
They don't do that type of spot anymore where you're doing the abdominal stretch and then you reach out and you hold your tag team partner and they pull you to give you extra leverage. They don't do that anymore. That's more of an old school thing. So now to do it and then have everybody chain linked together to get. And I'm sitting there looking, oh, that must really, really fucking hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anybody who wasn't from that era would look at it. Why are they doing this? This makes no sense. Why are they doing this? Commentary tried doing an okay job of explaining that it gives more pain because of more leverage. But if you had to be one of the old school 80s, 90s wrestling fans to see back in the day, that was the ultimate cheat, man. The heel tag team did that all the time, and the crowd used to give them the shit about it. It was the worst thing ever. I liked it, man. I thought this was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was one of the better spots in this match. I thoroughly enjoyed that, too. The Bucks and Omega hit stereo topes, followed by Shelton Benjamin doing a flip dive over the top rope.
I'm sorry, let me cut you. I'm sorry. Also, that spot, that's the kind of spot you can do that's, out of the ordinary, wild, crazy, get a pop from the crowd if they appreciate it, and you're not jumping off of a building. It's a big spot without anyone doing anything absolutely crazy to hurt themselves.
Yeah.
That's more of a psychological spot as opposed to, a lot of the old school wrestlers are complaining about today's wrestlers that they do too much. They hurt themselves just to get a cheap pop. And stuff like this is something that can get a reaction if done right. And nobody's going to run the risk of, paralyzation at the same time.
Bucks and Omega hit stereo topes, followed by Benjamin doing a flip dive over the top rope, followed by Jericho diving off the top turnbuckle to the outside on everybody. Typical spot that we usually see on weekly television. Nothing really special there. Omega, the Bucks, Jack Perry, and Jericho hit consecutive corner hurricanranas. Toleone hit a Samoan drop with the Bucks and Perry on top of him, which was very impressive. Jack Perry hit Mark Davis with a vacuum cleaner that was full. The tank of the vacuum cleaner was full. This might have been one of the most devastating spots of the entire night, because when dust in a vacuum that sits and is full, sits there for so long, and you then kind of try to empty it out, all the dust particles get in the air. Can you imagine bashing someone over the head with that and it gets everywhere? It was all in Jack Perry's hair and his face. He had to go wash his eyes out with water by the commentary table. This was fucking brutal, man. That's a terrible spot.
I don't want that shit in my lungs as I'm trying to already grasp for air because I'm tired and I got to inhale that bullshit.
That's a devastating move right there, man. A vacuum cleaner full of garbage, man, just over the head.
No, thank you.
So there was a brawl backstage that included Toleone and Bobby Lashley. Blackheart, Leo Rush was standing there, or I guess kneeling there. He appeared and helped aid Lashley, which obviously was a callback because if you guys remember in WWE, Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley were a duo or a pair. He was Bobby Lashley's hype man. So, now not so much because Leo Rush is talking to him. Jess, do you know who him is?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Leo Rush is speaking to him.
What is Leo Rush? What is he doing?
I don't know, but Leo Rush wrestled on the House of Glory show Friday.
Was he looking like this?
Yes, he did this. He did everything, man. He was galloping around like a fucking Resident Evil zombie. He was speaking to the turnbuckles.
Oh my God, bro.
It's crazy.
I guess you get people talking. That's
exactly what he's doing. He's got people talking. Good for him.
Yeah.
Clark Connors was super kicked up an escalator by the Young Bucks, so he took a one-way ticket up to Louis Armstrong Stadium. Andrade was taking a ringside selfie when a blonde wigged wearing Luchasaurus appeared. I legitimately LOL'd at this, bro. I thought this was hilarious. He eventually spit something into his eye. I don't know if he legitimately spit phlegm into his eyes or if he spit mist into his eye. I don't know what the fuck he spit into his eyes.
Green mist.
It was the green mist into his eyes. All right, Andrade ended up being blinded, but, bro, fucking Luchasaurus wearing a blonde wig standing next to the women who wanted selfies with Andrade was fucking hilarious.
So good, man. Didn't see that coming at all.
Ricochet got suplexed onto tennis balls in the ring by Jericho. This, I don't know what they were going for with this.
No, that was stupid.
I mean, I could see it being, painful, but...
you have nothing to load your black bag of something that could really hurt.
Yeah, it's not going to be tennis balls, yeah.
Tennis balls.
It was tennis balls because they're on the grounds of Arthur Ashe and the U.S. Open. It's
whatever. I get it.
Yeah.
But so if you don't want anything gory like thumbtacks, understandable. But I like in spots like that, I like when they bring out like the bag of Legos. Everybody knows how much Legos fucking
Oh
hurts.
my God, man, that's more devastating than the thumbtacks, I think.
Yeah, that shit hurts.
Jesus
man.
Christ.
Man.
Ever step on a fucking Lego?
Oh, it's the worst. It's
Jesus
the worst.
Christ.
Oh my God.
All right, so we got the tennis balls in the ring. That didn't really do anything. There was a brawl in catering where we saw a good glimpse of the catering department.
Catering fight. Love it.
We got a brawl in catering which saw enhancement wrestlers get hit by Mark Davis, who then caught a chair to the eye. So I don't know what happened there. He ended up wrapping his face because he got blinded by one of the chair legs. Andrade then got shoved into Satnam Singh from behind, and he got a face full of cake. Singh got up and called for a food fight. In the distance, Jack Perry pulled out another bag of onions and started throwing onions at Mark Davis.
That's where you get the onions from. See?
I guess so. I don't know.
There you go.
Cry me a river.
There you go.
Matt Jackson.
I was chanting that too.
Yeah. Matt Jackson wheeled Clark Connors down to the ring in a grocery cart while he was wearing a trash can, and Nick Jackson super kicked Clark Connors in the shopping cart. That was another spot. Luther then appeared backstage to give Jericho Satnam Singh's tennis racket, which was 3 times the size of a regulation tennis racket, to use against Ricochet, followed by Jericho using a tennis ball machine to fire balls at Ricochet. So I don't know if the machine was working properly, but Jericho ended up throwing some of the balls at him, and then the machine started firing balls at Ricochet. He did go for cover in this. Jericho. What happened?
Then they started hitting Jericho.
Then they started hitting Jericho, yeah.
Yeah.
Davis found a golf cart with a sign that said, "Wait here, asshole." There was a knife in the back of the leather chair in the golf cart, which led to Jack Perry beeping in the distance behind the wheel of his school bus. Mark Davis had to get out of harm's way, otherwise he would have lost his life. And Jack Perry, demolished with his school bus, drove right into the golf cart, which then went right into a limousine. So we had vehicular homicide attempted here at the Stadium Stampede.
We thought he killed him. We started eulogizing him. We're like, all right, well, he's dead. So.
Well, Tony Schiavone, like a fucking idiot, is like, he was in the golf cart. I'm like, no, he wasn't, you idiot. He wasn't in the golf carts.
He could have played it up. Was he in there? Did he get out? I hope he got out in time. What did he move? I don't know. You know, we thought he was dead. Like, all right, well,
God, he's fucking terrible.
Davis. Mark Davis is gone.
Anyway, that was the Stadium Stampede. I mean, it was fine. Some people, I personally, I didn't care for it. I mean, did I watch it and have a decent time? Sure. Was it entertaining? Sure. Did I like hearing Devil's Dance by Metallica? Sure. It's one of the only few songs off that fucking album that I actually like. But all in all, Jesse, I didn't really care about any of this. You know, we said in the weekly reviews that everything that Ricochet and Jericho have done didn't really warrant this type of match. And I felt like they just tried to go over the top with all of this and include everybody in this thing to make a spectacle out of it. But was it really needed? Probably not.
I think the match served its exact purpose. I think it was absolutely perfect for what it was supposed to be, outside of it being a little bit too long. You know, we were never looking at a wrestling technical, you know, spectacular type. It was for what it was meant to be. I think it hit its points, you know. And again, it was a part of the reason why the show did not feel like it went too long. I did not feel like, oh my God, when is this finally going to be over? You know, because everything was just entertaining, you know, within itself. I think for as far as party matches and big, you know, spectacles like this, I think it hit the mark. And other than being a little bit too long, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was the party match of the evening. You always got to get one of them on an AEW show.
Always.
Main event, Darby Allin, MJF, world title versus MJF's hair. This was the main event of the evening. We have finally arrived. You know, the Stadium Stampede went 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's too long. That's too long.
They could have cut at least 10 minutes off that, you know?
They could at least 10. I mean, give me a solid 5. I think we would have felt that. But yeah, I think 10 would have been a nice little chop.
So MJF came out first. We got an intro vignette with Darby And him skateboarding in New York City and walking through an underground tunnel, laying there with the AEW World Championship, listening to the life above the streets of New York. So MJF made Dustin Roberts say he's not from any of the 5 boroughs, but instead, you know, he obviously needed to let everybody know that he lives in a mansion on Long Island and nobody can relate to him. So Justin said Darby is batshit crazy during his entrance. And we got this main event starting at 11:42 p.m. Eastern. So Darby took MJF, who charged at him, into side headlocks multiple times to start the match for 2 counts. He did that 3 times. MJF spilled out to the floor. Darby dove after him. MJF shoved him midair. And Jesse, Darby's boots clipped the rope. And the way he landed on the back of his neck, bro, I thought the match was over right there.
Man, I thought he had to. Man, he was a little bit away from being carted out of there. Man. Oh, it's close, so close.
Yeah, I thought the match might have ended right there, and MJF was fucking laughing about it. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I just like, what the fuck, you know? But it is what it is. Darby's like fucking made of Teflon, man. He does these types of things and he bounces right back. So the match continued miraculously, thank God. MJF settled into a chin lock. We got some MJF, let's go Darby chants. MJF set up a leaping tombstone off the second rope. Darby blocked it, landed a stunner. Darby started convulsing because of the move that went badly wrong before with the dive. So Darby set up for a coffin drop. MJF rolled to the floor. Obviously, he saw that coming. Darby dove through the ropes and knocked MJF into the announce desk. MJF kind of oversold it. He's flopping around all over the place. Darby leapt off the top rope with a coffin drop attempt on MJF on the ring apron, but MJF moved and Darby crashed and landed on the apron with the missed coffin drop. So not only did he suffer that terrible dive that went almost completely wrong, he missed a coffin drop on the apron. So Darby's not faring too well here. He's taking 2 risks, and it's fucking terrible here. So we move on from that. And MJF gave Darby a package pile driver off the ring apron onto ringside steps, which were tipped over on its side. MJF avoided bumping into the referee about a third of the way through this and gave Darby gave MJF a low blow. So obviously they played up the whole Mick Foley getting a low blow on the buy-in, and this was Darby's revenge for Mick Foley.
Yep.
Darby went for a sharpshooter in the middle of the ring. MJF fought out. Darby persisted. He won it over. He actually applied it. MJF was about to tap, but he reached the bottom rope. Darby went for a quick coffin drop. MJF blocked it, got the knees up, and scored a near fall. So Darby gave MJF a scorpion death drop, and they went into MJF's patented now, because he seems to do this every match, the rapid fire 2-count roll-ups, 1 count, 2 count, 1 count, 2 count deal. The crowd likes it. I don't think it needs to happen every match. I think it's a cool spot to get the fans kind of involved, but MJF seems to do it with everybody in every main event he's in, and it kind of loses its appeal. That's just me.
I haven't even realized it.
Yeah, he does it almost every time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they did it almost 24 times here. Darby set up a code red. MJF blocked it. Darby came back and landed at code red. We're about halfway through this thing now. So both guys are down. They're slow to get up. They leaned on the bottom rope to look at each other. They pulled themselves up. Darby landed a jackknife cover for a quick near fall. MJF rolled to ringside. Darby once again dove through the ropes, and MJF pulled the camera into the dive, and the cameraman got knocked out. So he still tried to film while down. The officials came on to check on the cameraman, and a replay showed Darby ramming into the camera, and not really the cameraman, but they carted not really carted, they carried him out. Cameraman looked a little roughed up. So not sure what happened with the cameraman. Hopefully he's all right. He was helped to the back. MJF carried Darby up to the stage where there was a chair, barber's chair, and electric razors were set up just in case MJF lost. MJF held up the razors and had this look in his eyes that he was going to shave Darby's hair. Darby recovered, applied a guillotine. Darby then put MJF on the table that was on the stage where the barber chair was, and then looked up at the entrance, which was a mimic of New York scaffolding. So he climbs up this thing. Tony Schiavone says it's got to be at least 20 feet tall. So he leaps off of it onto MJF, who was laying on top of the table with the electric razors, and he comes crashing onto MJF with a huge coffin drop off the stage. So Darby comes up bleeding. Now, we don't know how he came up bleeding, if he scraped his head down, coming down on the razors, or if he hit the back of his head on the stage that had the table on it. I don't know what it was, but he was bleeding all over the place. So Darby bled from the back of his head. He tried to lift MJF up, but he was mostly dead weight. Darby eventually did drag him to ringside and throw him back into the ring. He landed a coffin drop. Both guys were down and slow to get up. Darby applied the Scorpion Death Drop. He couldn't hold it, and he collapsed. So the referee signaled to ringside that the medical staff needed to stay back. MJF lifted his head. He starts laughing. He stood up. He pulled the referee away. Darby surprised MJF with the Scorpion Death Drop, so I guess he was kind of playing possum. He kipped up. Fans were getting really into it because they thought MJF was going to lose. Darby sets up another coffin drop. MJF stood up quickly, knocked him off balance as he bashes himself into the ropes. So Darby comes crashing down off the ropes. MJF went to the corner, picks up Darby, delivers a second rope leaping tombstone, and then he shifted into a side headlock and wins. MJF beats Darby Allin and regains the AEW World Championship, Jesse, with a side headlock takeover. And he is now the first ever 3-time AEW World Champion.
Solid match.
I thought this match was great.
Solid fucking match. I don't know why they're both still stuck on this headlock takeover bullshit.
Oh, it was the thing they did on the Indies. I don't know what the origins of it were, but it happened on the Indies.
Yeah, I get it. But hey, man. So again, with the Darby run, for me, it's about the follow-up, what they do with him afterward. And as long as they keep him in the upper echelon of things. And now, like we mentioned earlier, it looks like they're going to help use Darby's new rub to try to rub some of Kevin Knight onto Kevin Knight and his new heel turn. And I don't hate it, again, as long as they don't lose focus on what we're doing with Darby Allin going forward.
Yeah.
Darby should not forget that he's a main eventer looking to get the world title back. He should not be floundering somewhere in catering and all this other bullshit later on in the next upcoming weeks. Otherwise, you've wasted our time. Darby is a main eventer now. Leave him up there. He should be feuding with Swerves, with the Okadas, with the Kyle Fletchers. Leave him up there where he should be, and this will be fine. This will be absolutely fine for him.
Isn't Moxley? Moxley is not a 4-time AEW champion. Moxley was an interim champion. I don't count that.
Yeah, no, he's not. Darby's MJF the first 3 times.
No, give me a break. No, we're not counting Moxley's interim reign. Give me a fucking break with that nonsense. MJF celebrated at the end of the match. They started strapping Darby to a gurney. MJF started kicking the doctors away. He stands on the gurney. He holds up the title, standing above Darby's broken body as he's laying there on the gurney. So he's yelling, "This is my moment." And he leapt off the apron. He walks up the aisleway. Out comes Kevin Knight, because he wanted to do more damage to Darby, was MJF. So Kevin Knight came out to kind of chase MJF away. And Darby's in the aisleway portion of the ramp. He's still strapped to the gurney. Kevin Knight's on the top rope, and Kevin Knight jumps off the top rope with a UFO splash right onto Darby Allin while he's laid out, strapped into the stretcher, and he knocks the stretcher over. So Kevin Knight's like healing it up. He's like feeling his face. He's like finally like motioning that he's free. He's like, "Oh my God, I finally broke out now. I can be myself." And the show goes off the air with Kevin Knight kind of in this heel moment attacking Darby Allin. So now we got to get the answers on Wednesday as to why Kevin Knight decided to turn heel on Darby Allin after we just saw him on Wednesday basically being a cheerleader for Darby, Jesse, saying, you got to beat MJF. We believe in you. Don't let us down.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to go with. So now this theoretically ends Jet Speed. So Speedball can't be happy with this. We're probably going to get a Speedball versus Kevin Knight feud or a match with the TNT title on the line. He may be looking at Darby Allin one-on-one at one of the next pay-per-views. And, you know, again, like we mentioned with Kyle Fletcher before, Will Ospreay more than likely is going to be the AEW World Champion. If they have aspirations and hopes of Kevin Knight being one of the faces of the company and one of the building blocks of the company, a heel Kevin Knight versus a Will Ospreay for the World Championship, build him up. There's another solid heel right there if he can make it to that point, you know?
Work on him. I hope he can pull off being a believable heel. That's going to be the important thing. I'm assuming Darby goes away for a little bit with his injuries from this show, from this, you know, this card. And in the meantime, Kevin Knight's like it starts with Speedball. They probably start him off there. Have him do some more heel shit, try to get some more heat on him, and then Darby makes his return, and then we get into Darby and Kevin Knight after, you know, next. Hopefully it works out. Let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot. I mean, he's kind of lame as a babyface, so I'm interested to see how the heel run goes. I'm gonna be honest, you know.
Yeah, we will see what happens. Coming out of this show, even though this show was really fucking great, AEW has notoriously had a problem with following up their pay-per-views. So we'll see what happens on Wednesday. I'm not really expecting much because normally the shows following a pay-per-view on Wednesday don't really deliver all that big. And now, Jesse, we're going into Forbidden Door. And obviously we still have the Owen, which is going to give some of the TV some meaning. But going into Forbidden Door, man, usually it's a mix of New Japan and AEW matches. I don't know what the form... Yeah, the television during this period, man, is fucking bad. And it's not good. It's not interesting. A lot of it is unimportant shit. And nobody gives a fuck about it here in North America because nobody gives a fuck about New Japan. Okay?
Yeah.
So all I will say is this. I don't know what the plan is for Forbidden Door. It needs to be mostly AEW matches with a match or two that's either New Japan matches versus AEW talent. And if you want to go that route, start building now because you got more than a month for the pay-per-view. So I don't know what it is, but...
Let me run this by you.
Yeah.
What if... Now, I don't know when these non-compete clauses are up, but what if they grabbed a bunch of recently released WWE talent and had them come in through the Forbidden Door without labeling them as WWE guys, but basically having a little bit of a WWE invasion, like I said, without labeling them, because they just released a lot of fucking people.
That would take a lot of money to sign those talents and really a lot of good ideas and creative behind it to make something like that make sense. And I don't think that they want to do that.
Probably not. I don't think. I think
that would be fun. I think that would be fun, honestly.
I don't think a lot of these guys are worth signing, but we know AEW is good for these temporary deals, you know, pay by appearance deals, shit like that. New Day, Motor City Machine Guns, all them, sign those guys.
Yeah.
But the other guys pay per appearance deal, and we'll see how it goes if you work out, blah, 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 blah. You got a little mini invasion going on right there, man.
Yeah. They can make it work if they wanted to.
I didn't think about that till right now. Forbidden Door coming up, all these released names. That might be fun.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do for Forbidden Door. I don't know who MJF's going to defend the championship against. I mean, who's he going to wrestle in New Japan that we actually give a fuck about? So he won the championship back for a third time, and now we got to watch him wrestle against a nobody in New Japan that he's inevitably going to win against? Come on.
Yeah.
Give me a break. We'll see what happens. But we got television on Wednesday to look forward to. Hopefully the Owen continues, and hopefully they do something a little bit more interesting for Forbidden Door. But that is your Double or Nothing post-show. Excellent show by AEW. Best pay-per-view they've done all year, and probably the best pay-per-view in pro wrestling all year. So thank you guys very much for all of your support. Jesse, I am going to get into the Super Chats, and I will give you the opportunity, if you want to go and head to bed, because I know you had a long night, you can definitely do that, and I will stay and handle the Super Chats, or you can stay with me, and we can blow through these things.
I'm going to skate, man. I'm still a little bit up, so maybe I'll watch some of the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
But I'll probably end up going to bed. Who am I kidding?
There you go.
Thank you so much. Sorry, chat. I didn't interact with anybody. I did not have the chat up again. I did not want the game spoiled for me. when the playoffs is over, and I'll be back to interacting with you guys. But in the meantime, I will see you guys next time. Please come subscribe if you have not. I would greatly appreciate it.
All right, we'll see Jesse on Wednesday. We'll be back covering the show on Wednesday night after Dynamite, and I'll talk to you later, bro.
Take it easy, bro. Later.
All right, man. So that's Jesse. He is getting out of here, and we will shift. We're going to head upstairs, man. We were downstairs in my mother's basement. Now we're upstairs in the venue, the OG venue. Look at that. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications, and please go check out all the content on the channel. Plenty of it. There is a ton of content, and we got more to come tomorrow, man. We'll be live after Monday Night Raw. We got Tuesday Night Titans with the Silent Monster on Tuesday, episode 148. We'll be live on Wednesday, and then the whole new week, man. So we got more content coming. Some really good stuff there. Hit that thumbs up. We need 147 likes for 1,000. Can we hit that? Let's try it. And again, super chats are open. Get them on in. It is the best way to support the show and what we do here. Start at the top. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD Jesse, hope all is well. Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Michael, as always. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. I don't care what anybody says. I thought this pay-per-view was better than both nights of WrestleMania. Am I crazy or what? No. No, it absolutely was. It absolutely was. Would I take any of the matches tonight over Roman and CM Punk? No. No, I thought Roman and CM Punk was the better of both main events on Mania, and I do think it was the best match on that Mania. I do think that match was probably better than everything on this show. That's my favorite match of the entire year. CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Triple M. $5 super chat. June 9th, one last time. Thank you, Destiny, for being an amazing game. Had good times with the boys. It's been fun. Feels like days of good FPS games are over. Bro, I'll be on June 9th, man. I don't know what we'll be grinding for, but I will be back on June 9th, man. I tried to hop on and do some of the strikes. Just it feels so empty, man. But more people. There's double the amount of people on Steam anyway. Double the amount of people playing Destiny over Marathon. Somebody fucked up. And there's a petition going around to get Destiny 3 made. There's almost 200,000 signees, petitions. Man, everyone's got to log in on June 9th. If you guys are into Destiny, everyone's got to log in on June 9th to play the fucking game. That'll show them. Kratos with 60 months. It's a long fucking time, man. Thank you for being here. Amazing show tonight. Kevin Knight turn was a shock, but expected due to Darby's promise of a world title shot after he was done with MJF. OTS for life. Yeah. He did promise him a world championship match, but is that enough? Is that enough of a reason to turn on somebody? Tony Brown with a $4.99. That Jericho match was what we call in the Army during Vietnam a clusterfuck. Wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. Effing Raw with a 10 months. It's not often we get excited for what's next after an AEW pay-per-view, but here we are. Please follow up good on Dynamite. They never do, bro. They never do. Hopefully that changes Wednesday. Eric M with a $20 super chat. What's up, JD? Pay-per-view was a 9 out of 10. Haven't enjoyed wrestling like that in a very long time. What a fucking show. The crowd was 10 out of 10. The doctor called today. My sister is now cancer-free. Couldn't ask for a better holiday weekend. Brother, it sounds like you are living life, man. Happy to hear that. God bless. And thank you for being here, man. Enjoy the rest of your holiday. Nick Williams with 48 months. This guy just got his Mustang emote. This was truly a good show. New badge. Ospreay versus MJF seems like the way to go. Now, if AEW can start producing story, then we're cooking. MJF versus Ospreay is the match for Wembley. I have a feeling they're going to go Omega Ospreay. Whatever that is, whenever that happens, I think we're going Omega Ospreay. That would be fucking awful for MJF. Unless we get MJF versus Foley, I don't know what MJF does going into Wembley. KMG, thank you again, brother, for the 100. Adam, Casper, thank you again for the 100. You gentlemen are VIPs, man. Thank you for being here. Big E to win. 57 months. I bought this show actually expecting a good show, and I didn't feel disappointed at all. It felt refreshing to watch wrestling without ads. That experience does exist, bro. The WWE has corrupted a lot of people. They have convinced a lot of people that what they do is the way. It is not. Mr. Premium with 7 months. I haven't watched AEW for months, but opted to watch tonight's show. Not too bad. Thought Darby was done after that first dive. OTS strong. Thank you, Mr. Premium. Appreciate you being here, brother. MGM Bowling with a $4.99. On my way home from the show now, dude. Easily on my Rushmore of shows I've been to. Might even be number one. Incredible. Brother, you guys were fucking loud all night, man. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Came off incredibly well on TV. Nate TV with a $5 super chat. Best pay-per-view of 2026. I saw a tweet of someone streaming the pay-per-view tonight on Cornhub. LOL. Of course, a wrestling fan on X would find something like that. Well, they are called sickos for a reason. Joseph Taylor with a $10 super chat. Double or nothing. 7 out of 10 in my opinion. FTR, Cope, Christian, the Young Bucks, Motor City Machine Guns, and the New Day in a 5-way ladder match at All In. No. More of a standard 2-on-2 is the way to go. I think we get Bucks versus Copeland and Christian at All In. Justin Turner with an 8 months. I had a great time tonight with Double or Nothing. Great fucking pay-per-view. A 9 out of 10 from me. Keep up the great work, JD and Jesse. Thank you, Justin. Adam Casper. Mets losing in Miami was LOL. Don't worry, man. The Braves lost to the Nationals. Noah with a $2 super chat. Thank you for the $2. No message, Noah. Thank you for being here. Don Stoney with a $5 super chat. Jokes aside, this level of review, breakdown, analysis, and facts is why the fuck I'm here at 3 a.m. And shout out to Don Tony, Wrestling Soup, and Spitball Media. And as always, RIP Kevin Castle. Thank you, Stoney. I saw Don Tony was live with his own show tonight. I was wondering why he wasn't watching the pay-per-view. Caden with a $1.99. Thank you, Caden. No message. And Aiden with a $4.99. Been listening to you pretty consistently lately after every show. Thanks for keeping it real. Tonight was awesome. Cage and Cope vs. FTR was peak. Listen, man. They got a lot of work does WWE need to do for the tag team division, man. AEW, if they can get things right before all those teams come in, we're looking at a monumental tag team division with some of the best competition in the world. I am most excited about that. Guys, it is just past 3 a.m. I want to thank you guys for being here. I know these shows aren't easy to consume. They are very long, and then you guys spending time with me here for another 2.5 hours. I got some of the best community in all of the IWC, man. Thank you guys very much. I had a very good time with tonight's show. Very excited at the end of it. I love feeling that way. AEW produced the best pay-per-view they've done all year and the best pro wrestling show of 2026 up until this point. Hopefully they can continue that on Wednesday. Usually their follow-ups are dog shit. I hope that changes on Wednesday. And Forbidden Door and the weeks leading to Forbidden Door are some of the worst TV that AEW puts on all year. I'm hoping for something different and exciting this year. I'm not holding my breath. Chicago with a $2 super chat. Thanks for staying up late. Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, Chicago. Thank you for being here. And I'm about to get out of here, guys. Thank you very much for all your support. I will see you again live for Monday Night Raw. We got a lot to talk about. Not really. But hopefully they produce a good show, man. The fire should be lit under Triple H after watching a show like this, man. If it's not, that's a clear indication he doesn't give a shit. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Continue to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit that thumbs up. And again, I'll see you guys live after Monday Night Raw right here with more on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.